Hey, Talking Soprano fans, we want to tell you about a special holiday episode that we're really excited about. Next week, we're going to drop the Talking Sopranos holiday special. It's a very special gift from Steve and I and the Talking Sopranos team to all our fans. We are giving you an entire 90 minutes, entire episode dedicated to an interview with David Chase. It is an amazing interview with the guy who started it all. So happy holidays and enjoy this very, very special episode. Also, on Friday, December 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, that's 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific, we're going to join members of the original Sopranos cast for a special 2-hour charity live stream to raise money for the Friends of Firefighters. This important organization supports active and retired FDNY firefighters and their families who are impacted by the trauma these heroes face daily. This 2-hour virtual event will feature Q&A with the Sopranos cast, along with a live script reading written by Terrence Winter and David Chase. This entire event will live stream on Zoom and Google Hangouts. Now, you can get more information through the link that's posted in the episode notes or right here across the screen if you're watching on YouTube. So check out the event. Please support these brave firefighters, and above all, have a happy and healthy holiday. What's up, pal?
We got a great guest, man. Great
Yes, we
guest.
do. Very
I
excited.
am excited. I really am. Listen, and I've told you this a ton of times. Way before I was an actor, I was a huge fan. And I'm still a big, big fan, but I'm happily to call her a friend now.
Yes, this is without a doubt one of the great performances on The Sopranos. The best guest performance, someone who wasn't, a regular on the show. I would say out of all the guest spots, this was the best performance. Born in Brooklyn, nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actress for The Sopranos. Has appeared in over 68 different films, TV series. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Jungle Fever, in which I played her brother in that movie. True Love, which is the first time I saw her, directed by Nancy Savoca. Copland, Cadillac Man, Internal Affairs, Find Me Guilty, Romeo's Bleeding. She was on Glow, ER, The Good Wife, CSI. One of my favorite actresses in the planet, Annabella Sciorra. Please welcome her.
Hey,
There
she is.
Hi. Hi, I love the way you say my name.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, you did.
That's fine. Does it annoy you when people get it wrong?
Oh, you mean like when you say my name?
Yeah. Exactly. Oh,
No,
come
I
on. What's the difference?
I don't care. It's fine.
They know who I mean. That's all that matters. That's all that counts. Everything's
Thanks
good
for
with
coming
you?
on today.
Thank you.
So we met first in 1990. We met Jungle Fever in 1990. That was the first time I met. I was already a fan because I had seen True Love. That was when I first saw you in a film. And I knew your work, and I was excited to work with you. And we worked with Frank Vincent.
Yeah.
And David Dundara played our brother, who both of them have passed away, but with Spike Lee. Anthony Quinn was in that movie. John Turturro was a really good cast. Debbie Mazar.
Great cast.
Wesley Snipes, of course.
I remember rehearsing with you.
Yeah, we rehearsed, you and I and Frank and David. Also, Halle Berry and Samuel Jackson were in that movie, right?
Yeah. Great.
I mean, both before they were stars. I think both of those actors kind of broke out from that movie, from Jungle Fever. But let's go back. Like, how did you get into acting? What was your path into the business?
I don't know. I don't know when it really, I feel like it was the only thing I ever wanted to do. And I think when I was really young, I would really empathize with characters on TV. I would watch movies with my mom, and I would, growing up in the tri-state area, we were really lucky because we had all those great movies, $1 million movies, right? Or what was that show?
$1 million movie at Channel 9 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Some of those
Love
movies that we got to see, you can't even get now. You can't find to rent.
Right.
For a long time, I wanted to be in a Busby Berkeley musical. I just, and I was a great tap dancer. I was a dancer. And then I would flit around the city going to dance classes, ABT, and tap dancing was my thing. And then eventually I found where there was a class on Flatbush Avenue near Erasmus. I used to take a dance class there, and this teacher was really phenomenal, and she taught an acting class for teenagers. And I used to watch. They had the Louvre doors, and I used to watch in there. And I just really wanted to do it. And I was very, very shy. I was really, really shy. But I found myself through other people's words. I found ways to express myself through other people's words.
Did you eventually join that class?
I did. I joined that class. Her name was Patty Dawn. She was an original Jack Cole dancer. And I'm still friends with her. She lives in Pennsylvania now. She lives near Kelly. Oh, you don't know. Oh, do you know Kelly? Anyway, different story. So then that school started to ask if I wanted to go on auditions. And I would go, my mom and I would go into the city and we would go to different auditions, but I didn't want that. It was really strange.
How old were you then, Annabella? I mean, at what age we're talking?
Like 13, 14 years old.
That young. So you were a child actor. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wanted to do it already, but I didn't really feel, I think because I was shy, I didn't really feel comfortable. I remember sitting with my mother. It was like an office building on Park Avenue, and I was supposed to audition for something or other, and I didn't feel comfortable, and we left. I just said, I don't want to do this. And she was like, okay. We left. But then something came up, and it was a short film for an NYU student, and I did an audition for them, and I really liked them. So I ended up doing the film. It was a short film, and it won awards. I've never seen it. I've never been able to track it down. And then when I got out of high school, I just wanted to go right into acting. My parents really weren't into that. And my mother took me to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and I auditioned, and I got in. And that was a very good thing for me because I learned how to do more than just act. I learned how to design costumes and build sets, and I learned about my accent and, how to speak without it if I needed to. And a great Debbie Ross Sullivan, a great speech teacher. Yeah, I don't know. And then I got out of there and I formed a theater company and for 3 or 4 years. And then I, started going around to backstage auditions. And the
Backstage is the trade newspaper for audience that doesn't know. Yeah. You buy it on the newsstand and they have auditions mostly for plays that don't pay any money and
student films. And
once in a while they'd have real movie audition, like independent films or sometimes big open calls for movies. So is that how you got True Love through the backstage?
Yeah, I answered. I sent my picture in for a short film, which was True Love. It was called something else. And I was waiting on tables, and I went to this audition. And with a monologue that I had written, I was writing a one-woman show. I went to this audition, and they cast me to do a short film. And they used that short film to shop around the idea. And it took them a couple of years, but then they got the money. And in the meantime, I got a TV movie. We shot in Belgrade, and John Turturro played my brother. And that's where I met Aida.
So that was before the feature of True Love.
Yes, it was the year
Ah,
before. hmm
wow.
Yeah.
What movie was that?
It's based on Mario Puzo's first novel, about his mother who was married by proxy. It's called The Fortunate Pilgrim.
Oh, right. I know that book.
So Annabella, you do all these big movies. You've been around a long time. Now, did you read for The Sopranos? Did you have to read, first of all, for David Chase?
Well, I didn't read for Gloria. No. The first meeting I had was with David, and it was kind of a general meeting with David and Eileen and Robin Green. And I just asked Eileen the other day, I was like, where was that meeting? Because I felt like it was in a hotel or something, but it wasn't. It was at Silver Cup. And it was just general. I was nervous. David was, just.
We know. But was the show already on? You didn't read early on for anything.
No, I didn't even know about it. When I found out about it was, Michael, I think you were there. It was like a holiday party at John Bon Jovi's, and John Ventimiglia was there, and Steve Van Zandt was there. And I think you guys had just done the pilot. Is that possible? Like in November or December or something?
Maybe, yeah.
And I don't know if you were there or not, but everybody was really excited about it. And I was like, oh, well, I guess they'll call me if they want me.
We got picked up right at the holiday. I wasn't at that party. We got picked up like in December, right before Christmas of '97. We were shooting that Witness to the Mob movie at the time. Me and Vinny Pastore and Sirico and Kathy Narducci was in that.
Right.
So you met with David, and then what? What happens?
So we met, we talked, and there were, three characters that we talked about. And then I don't know exactly when, but I eventually got a call. I was in Los Angeles, and they wanted to know if I would read for a different character. And this was in the second season, I think. And I didn't really want to play that character because I liked the sound of the other characters better, but I didn't want to sort of break the relationship with everybody.
All right.
So I was going to the airport. I stopped wherever they were meeting with people. And I talked to David privately. He was I was like, I got to talk to you privately. He's like very suspicious. And I said, I don't really think I'm going to want to do this part if I get it, but I'll audition, and let's see what happens. So I auditioned, and we had a great time, and I got the part, and then I said I didn't want to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But something in your gut knew that there was something
there was something that I just felt like this isn't right. This one is not right for me. And I also felt that I could feel that David liked me and he wanted to use me in something, and I liked the sound of the other two characters better. And then eventually he called and said, okay, are you ready for Gloria?
When you read that for the first time, did that kind of that kind of made sense, and you were like, okay, no, this one works. I don't
remember what I knew about it. I can't totally remember. I knew that it was going to be Jim's girlfriend, Tony's girlfriend, but it rung like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to do that.
Like Michael has said on the podcast, from the moment we see Gloria, we know what she's all about. You did it right there in the waiting room of Melfi's waiting room.
Yeah,
right?
She's like, we don't know how far it's going to go, but her presence was very strong right from the minute. There's something the way she's on the phone and not really caring that other people in the room, and the way you're dressed and the way you just carry yourself is just so specific and dead on. Like,
yeah,
it's really, and I'm not saying it because you're here, I've said it on the show, it's really one of the best performances in the whole series. It really is. It's really deep, and it's very complex, and it's scary and real, and you really
So great.
made that happen. I mean, it's tremendous. What was your way in to her? Like, how did you find her?
Well, I don't know if it was around that I read I Claudius, because I heard it was based on I Claudius or something. But anyway, I just decided, I made a decision to give her the same background as Tony. So, you know, I gave her the same mother, you know, I gave her a violent upbringing, you know, a physically violent upbringing.
Right.
And so I don't know why I did that. I don't recall, but she was, so she was somebody who was, like, she didn't ever wake up and be like, what am I going to do today? You know, there was always this thing. There's always this pressure. And I think that she learned how to do things to make her feel better. And I think it was also the only character that I've ever played where she used her body and she used her sexuality to get what she wanted, in the hopes that that would make her feel better. And, you know, and the line that you wrote in, you know, so I pray a little bit and, you know, I meditate, you know, it's like she tries that and she tries therapy and she's doing everything she can to make herself feel happy. I always felt Gloria didn't want to be alive. You know, I felt like she didn't know how to stop the pain and the shame and the guilt and everything that she was feeling. So, yeah.
Well, it's very clear. I mean, all that stuff you're talking about is in there. It's interesting.
Specific too, just like when you say it was specific, for me, it was really, you know, David wanted Gloria to dress like Dr. Melfi. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was like, no. And Julia, our wonderful costume designer, she's like, well, you know, we're going to have to show him some suits and some more professional looking things. I was like, okay, but I know that that's not the way in for me. And then we came across, you know, this skirt with the big slit, and I was like, fishnet stockings. And you know, when he came down to see the costume fitting, when we put that outfit on, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. So it was professional. You know, she was professional and appropriate, but it was always just slightly too much.
I think that's what Tony. I think that's what Tony loved about Gloria. I mean, you know, I mean, his wife didn't dress like that, and the people in his world didn't dress that way. You know, I mean, I think that was part of it. Very sophisticated. You know,
well, because it was a combination of that sexuality with the kind of intelligence of like a Melfi, which attracted, but also the sexuality that he's had in his younger Gumas. So you combine those two things, and it was like a deadly, you know, like a moth to a flame. I mean, he was kind of helpless,
Yeah.
you know,
until he wasn't. But he was, you know, you can, once it starts coming, you see where it's going pretty quickly, but he's helpless for a long time. You know.
Now, Annabella, you know, you worked with Jim mostly. I mean, you also worked with Edie and Lorraine, but I got to assume the stuff with Jim, you enjoyed that tremendously. I would think.
Yeah, I did very much. I knew Jim before.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah, he was in a movie I did called Mr. Wonderful.
That's right. He was a blind date for you, right? A blind date?
Yeah. So I didn't know him really well, but we knew each other. But yeah, working with James was really special. It was really, you know, especially it was for me, I had never done, you know, all the sex scenes and being naked and, you know, all of that stuff. And he was such an absolute gem and a gentleman. You know, it was really incredible. And then it was really wonderful to have that thing where it doesn't matter what you throw, you know, it's just you're constantly throwing and it's coming back and throwing and it's coming back. It's never like a dull nothing. He's you know, in watching it again now, there's some episodes where he's just there constantly in the moment. It was wonderful. It was such a great opportunity. It was such a wonderful thing to work with Jim.
You know, there's a scene, well, it happened a couple times. Jim had huge hands.
Yes.
And when he was choking you, I mean, you know, you got this little head and that giant hand, because Jim has choked me in the scene. You know, Tony choked Bobby.
Me too. I guess he's choked the three of us.
I mean, and I could see, you know, he's really got you up against that wall, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But that was all, you know, I never got hurt. It was so safe. And he was really good about that too. You know, he was very good about being safe. And I learned a lot from him. Because, you know, when you have something like that and your adrenaline's going, you just want to, you know, I'll do it, you know. And he was like, nah, just relax.
No.
He gave a shit. Jim gave a shit, for sure.
Yeah, he even stopped that scene. I guess it's at the beginning of that scene. We had been going at it for a long time. It was one of those long Friday nights. I think it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I was on the floor, and he was sort of coming toward me to pick me up off the floor, and he like kind of twist my arm and everything. And he was like, "Do you want to just stop? Should we just pick this up on Monday?" And I was like, no, I want to keep going. But he was right. Even when I watched it the other day, I watched part of it. I couldn't watch the end of it, but there's a little portion there where I'm like not in it at all. But he gave a shit for sure.
Yeah.
Those things you have to work out, because your adrenaline flows and you're always like, I want it to be real. I want it to be great. But it's, you know, what shows on camera is actually not always making it real. It's doing it for the camera and being safe, because it's so easy to get really hurt doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And seriously.
And somebody had just gotten hurt like the week before or something. I don't know. I don't remember who. I don't recall who. But the only thing I did do that wasn't in the script was I spit at him.
That wasn't in the script?
Oh, wow.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was this weird, you know, I'm not a big preparer on set. You know, I do my work at home and then I'm like, let's go play. And, you know, I knew what she wanted in that point, and I knew why she was taunting him like that. And it just kept going and it kept going. And I think there was, I wish I have all my scripts. I think it was maybe a couple of like, come on, kill me. But I just kept going. And then I spit at him. And he got so like, and then they cut. And Timmy came over and he was laughing. And Jim was like, did you just spit at me? And I was like, no, I did. I'm really sorry.
You didn't tell him you were going to spit.
No, but I didn't plan it. It wasn't something I planned out. It was like, I think I wrote it out. Like, what would I do to get this thing that I want, right? And I think I might have written it down, but words are so powerful. You know, once you write something down and you say something, like it's just there. And then we had to cover it from the other side, so I had to spit at him again. Because we had to do like a closer shot. There's like a shot on me where you kind of see Jim, and then we had to do another shot. Yeah.
Now,
Wow,
did you know that it was going to be, I don't know how many episodes, it was only going to be X amount? Did you know that, or?
You know, I knew it was 4 episodes, and when it was over, and I didn't really think about it. And then that summer, I was in Italy for a while, and you know, I got lost in Italy, and I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll stay 2 more weeks or whatever. And I came back, and David had left all these messages on my answering machine, and so I called him, and I was like, what's up? He's like, where have you been? I said, I was in Italy. It was before like we had cell phones that we took every place, and he said, well, I wanted to know if you wanted to come back and be a regular.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, yeah, of course. And he said, but yeah, it's too late now.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Well, why did he call your agent? The agent would
I
have
don't
tracked you
know.
down.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. And it was a really funny situation because, I mean, it wasn't funny then. I was pissed off, you know. I was like, what do you mean it's too late? He's like, no, we decided to do something else. And I was like, well, what did you decide to do? And he said, well, I don't really want to tell you. Like, and then finally he told me. And I was like, nah, that's so crazy. No, she wouldn't do that. No, that's not, no. And I kept calling him. I don't know where, guys might even know where you were in the production schedule, but it was a few days before Thanksgiving, and I was dropping a friend off at the airport. And I called him from the airport, and I was just like, listen, okay, fine. She kills herself. But this is how I think she, I just wouldn't let it go. I was like, she would shoot herself and she should do it on camera because women don't shoot themselves. And Gloria is different like that. And, you know, he's like, yeah, very few women hang themselves too. And I was like, no, it went on for a while where it was just going back and forth. I wouldn't accept it for a long time.
If it was a regular character, so she would have been like his girlfriend again? Is that what he?
Season 4, right? Season 4.
Season 4. Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean, he had something. He kept going back to her. She had her hooks in him, and you know, he would have went back again.
Yeah.
I believe he would have.
Oh, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe Tony would have went back again. And I thought, I also said in one of the episodes, I thought they should have sent Paulie or Silvio or Christopher to scare you. I think you would have been more scared instead of Patsy.
Yes. Yes. I think so too. I always wondered about that.
I think Paulie would have got you scared.
You know, I wanted to ask you if who do you think slashed your tires?
That's interesting. I was watching that episode. I think it was like Irina's Russian henchman.
You do, yeah.
Yeah,
Because part of me thought, I said it when we did this episode recently, and I said to Steve, maybe you did it, Gloria did it herself to kind of get Tony, you know, to say, look, your girlfriend's, I don't know, to create more drama, because she's all about creating big drama.
I think, you know, I always had this theory that when she went away for Christmas to Morocco, you know, like I said before, like she was trying anything. She was trying really hard.
Yeah.
To feel like she deserved to live, you know, that she deserved a good life.
Right. She's in therapy. She's trying, right?
Yeah. You know, and she's maybe, so what I decided is that when she went to Morocco, she maybe went off her meds, was having a good time, smoking hash, partying, came back, because that's when you see the difference. Like when she comes back and then she goes down to the boat and she's just like all over. She's just like, you know, ooh, she just flipped.
Right.
You know?
You answer his phone, which you shouldn't do, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's an interesting.
How many times did you throw the steak at, Jim?
What's that?
How many times did you throw the steak? The steak.
Everybody likes to claim credit for that. So Jeff Marchetti, Jeff gave me a prop steak, and it was basically like a wet sponge that looked like a steak.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, this isn't going to work. And sure enough, like when you threw it, it just dropped straight down. I threw it a bunch of times. I have a pretty good arm, but then they had to do insert, you know, they had to do a close up, and everybody wanted to throw the steak. You know, Steve took a shot at it. Jeff might have taken a shot at it. It was fun.
That's funny. I would have liked to see Gloria around season 4. I would have liked that.
I don't know what she would have done. I mean, I wondered, like, would she have gotten involved with like somebody else close to him, or I don't know.
You know, and then I think Tony has one more Gomara, right? That's coming up. She, the one that lights herself on fire or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
That was the last. So it was Irina. I'm talking Gomadas. It was Irina, Valentina.
Gomada, though. I do have to give you that.
Valentina. That was her name, a character.
Valentina.
So it was Irina, Gloria, and Valentina were the three main ones. All the Gomadas. The rest were one night stands, I guess.
Well, thank you very much for coming today. It was really, it means a lot to have you on this show.
Honestly.
We're really glad we got to interview you. It was really important to
It
have
was
you.
really
And
fun. It was really
yeah.
good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for doing
You
it.
be well. You were terrific. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, the fans are going to be very happy. They've been asking for you a lot, actually. So
Oh, really?
at least we'll make them happy. So that's good.
Yeah,
they've
because
been
they get a little grumpy with some of the guests, but they're going to love you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Great to see you.
Great
We'll
to
see
See you
you.
in person soon. Too.
Yeah, I
All right.
hope so.
Take
You
care.
take care.
Yeah, let's
Thank
do it.
you. Thanks,
All right.
Annabella.
All right, honeys.
We'll see you. I'll pronounce your name right from now on.
Yeah, you got to get it
Sciorra.
right, Steve.
Sciorra.
Yeah,
That's-
that's beautiful.
Not Sciorra. Sciorra.
All right, guys.
We'll
Take
see
care.
you.
Bye.
All right, Annabella Sciorra, Gloria Trillo,
That was
great
great.
actress, great character, great friend.
Great. Let's take a quick break, man. That was fantastic.
All right.
I want to show you this. I got to show you this. Look. You know who that's for.
So he's got his own team now? Is he a mascot?
Yeah. Look. Wait, I want to show you. Do you see that?
No, keep turning. Keep going.
How's
You're
that?
only turn all the way around, Steve. There you go. So what is it, baseball?
That's baseball, and you know your nephew Willie, and you haven't seen him in a while. Come say hello to Uncle Michael. But there's a great place called Jersey Pets. Say hello to
Hi,
Uncle
Willie.
Michael. Say hello to Uncle Michael. You haven't seen him in a while.
Hi, Willie. How are you?
Yeah,
Willie,
have some
what did
coffee.
you think of the last episode, Willie, of the podcast? He's blinking. That's a code. He means
That's a code that he
Steve
likes
was
it.
off last week. He
But
said.
there's a great company. It's called Jersey Pets. They sent me this, and I was thinking about getting one with your name in the front and my picture, and I'll give it to you. What do you think about that? Would you wear that? My picture on the back.
Not with my name on it. I'll wear it with your picture.
So Steve and my picture on the back.
No
and
name, just your picture. I don't need a name.
Well, they want to make one for you. They're nice people. It's a small business. Very nice. They sent this to me.
I don't have any pets, though.
They don't care. I'm kind of like your pet.
Kind of.
I'm kind of like your pet.
It's been a rough year for baseball, though, I tell you, huh? It's been, I couldn't get into. All of a sudden, the season started, and 10 minutes later, the playoffs started. I was very confused.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on.
It was something, but it was something good to watch, though, to be honest with you. I mean, it was something to occupy. I didn't feel the same. Now, of all the sports, you like football, you like baseball, you like basketball.
I like watching football a lot. I like watching soccer. I like baseball. I like basketball. I like basketball. I like the Knicks. I'm not an NBA nut. I like the Knicks. I like going to the Garden, watching the Knicks, and watching the Knicks on TV.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my favorite sport was wrestling. I was a big pro wrestling fan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I used to go, they used to have pro wrestling, WWF, at the Westchester County Center. But one time, my father took me, they had a big spectacle, maybe the greatest sports spectacle I've ever seen, at Shea Stadium. And Andre the Giant fought Chuck Wepner, who was a boxer who the movie Rocky was inspired by.
Yeah,
Chuck Wepner went 15 rounds with Ali.
Yeah.
Almost went to the end. Like the last few seconds, he was.
I met him
TKO.
on a plane. He's a liquor salesman. He was a liquor salesman. I
Really?
met him on a plane a number of years ago. He sat in front of me.
But he almost went the distance with Ali. Andre the Giant, seeing Andre the Giant live was like seeing something out of a comic book. He was a real giant. You know that.
Well, I listen. I saw a picture of a beer can in his hand, and it looked like a toy. It looked like a
No,
little
I
baby.
mean genetically they traced him back to the race of giants that Goliath was. Well, Goliath was the name of the giant tribe, the race of giants. They
Now,
just
you're putting me on. Is this
no,
true?
no, 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 no. The one
Just
who
one of your
fought David.
fantasies, like the New Jersey Devil thing?
Oh, 2,500 years ago, King David defeated Goliath. Well, Goliath was the race of giants. They were 9, 10 foot tall people. And Andre the Giant, they traced his lineage back to him. Andre the Giant's mother was taller than he was.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was like 9 feet tall, I think.
He was
eight and a
huge.
half
Yeah,
feet.
he was a tremendous guy with a tremendous appetite for liquor and wine and
Ooh,
women.
yeah.
And yeah.
They said he could drink more than anybody.
Yeah.
He could drink like 50 beers.
Did you have good seats at this thing?
I don't remember. But I did see he picked up Chuck Webner and threw him out of the ring.
Wow.
He beat him badly. And then they had on closed circuit from Japan, Muhammad Ali versus Antonio Inoki, who was a Japanese wrestler. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. The Japanese guy was on his back on the floor trying to kick Ali. So he fought almost the whole fight on the ground trying to kick him because his whole strategy was to get Ali on the ground. And it went on like that for like 50. It was people were throwing stuff at the screens, booing. That was the big thing. After Andre the Giant, they showed that shit at Shea Stadium.
I did a thing with wrestling, TNT. You know, I did a wrestling thing. I did a thing right after the last season of Sopranos. They called me, and Spike TV had a wrestling league, and I want to say it's TNA. I think it was TNA, and I was with two guys. They were terrific, and I was their cousin that came in, and I was actually in the ring, and we rehearsed. And I had to come in and do something. And the guy told me, he said, listen, people think this is fake. If you don't duck, he said, I'm going to take your head off.
It's choreographed, but
it's choreographed.
Those guys are athletes and they're strong and they get hurt. And I mean, you saw
Absolutely.
the movie The Wrestler is one of my favorites. It's a great movie. Darren Aronofsky, and one of the best performances I think ever by an actor was Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler.
Yeah, I auditioned for that. I didn't get it. But
who did you audition for?
I don't remember. Somebody in his corner, maybe. I don't really remember.
Mickey
I auditioned
was
for Darren Aronofsky. But that was a big comeback for him, right?
And nobody could have played that part like he did. I mean, he was just so believable, you know, as that guy. I mean, you know, Mickey was a boxer, and even after, you know, throughout his career.
But he had a very tough career, he's had a tough road, and it just kind of fit him perfect. And,
but he's a really great actor.
Yeah. And you say he's a good guy. I've never met him. You say
I met him once, and he's a wonderful guy, and I like him a lot. Yeah, and I'm a big fan. I've been a big fan of his forever.
I liked him in that movie down in New Orleans.
Angel Heart.
Angel Heart. Love that movie.
They didn't get along, him and De Niro.
Because De Niro's a douchebag.
He doesn't. Apparently, Mickey and De Niro just did not go together. You know, they didn't become friends.
Well, I bet you it's because Mickey Rourke ain't taking none of his rude shit, and it wasn't intimidated by him. And De Niro deals with intimidation because people, even other actors, they think that he's really this tough guy.
I don't know if
that's what I think is true.
I don't think
other actors, they think he
doesn't pretend. He doesn't walk around like he's a tough guy.
Oh, yes, he does. Oh, yes, he does. Maybe not to you.
I've never seen that.
Well, he walks around. What?
To you? What did he do that to you?
Was he nice when the times you met him? He's rude to you. He's not nice. He's gushy. Hey, Michael.
He wasn't rude. He's never been rude to me.
No? Easy to talk to, flowing.
He's shy. I don't know. I mean, he's not a. He's not
shy, or is he rude?
He was never rude to me.
Shyness and rude. They're cousins. Shyness and rudeness.
No, they're not.
cousins.
What are you
Yes.
talking about?
Shyness and rudeness are cousins.
No, they're
Oh, yeah.
not. They're completely
Yeah.
different.
I disagree.
I'm shy.
You're shy?
Yeah, very shy. Not with you. You know, I'm comfortable with you.
I
A lot of
don't
actors
think
are shy.
I'm shy too then. Depends who I'm with. I'm not jumping around like a lunatic all the time.
Not all the time. I've seen you. You've had your moments. So have I.
Absolutely, I have. And I'm okay with that. But I do believe people think Robert De Niro is this tough guy from downtown Manhattan and mobby. And a lot of people think he's like really mobby kind of guy. As you know, people think you are. They think I am. People mistake the characters you play for who you are.
Right. I think we've dispelled all those rumors after this podcast.
I think you're right. Now we're just two fucking assholes on a podcast. But we've gone to a lot of Knick games together. And,
I love, being at the Garden's. Oh, no matter what you go see at the Garden, it's always special.
Yeah. One of my favorite things of all this stuff that I've been able to do as an actor, even before, my favorite thing is to go to Madison Square Garden. Of course, they're very nice to me and you. We get courtside seats. We have dinner. There's a private club. Get to take friends and family. It's my favorite perk, shall you say, of being a half-ass celebrity. I love Madison Square Garden. I love the Knicks. It's my favorite thing to do. And unfortunately, this year we can't do it. Last year, when the Knicks play on Christmas Day, they invite me and my family. And we go every time the Knicks play Christmas Day. Opens up at 12 o'clock. It's a noon game. And it's nationally televised. And we have breakfast there. And it's a great time.
It's always a great time.
Yeah. And that's one of my favorite things. The Yankees, I love them. They've been great to us. Mitch Modell, he's invited us a bunch of times.
It is always a thrill as well. There's something about the legacy of the teams, and also the venues. I mean, even though it's a new Yankee Stadium, but it still has that vibe. It's huge. It's always full. Same with the Garden. The Knicks are always sold out.
Yeah.
So it's that energy. And Yankee Stadium's the same thing. It's always full. Is that energy, and you can't, if any of you ever get the chance, take the subway from Manhattan. You go up to Yankee Stadium. You get off with all the fans. It's just a great.
Yeah, it really is. I like going to ballparks. That's something that I like.
When I travel, I do that too.
Yeah. And I've been to quite a bit, not a ton. I threw out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium. Unfortunately, I think you were out of town. You couldn't do it, but that was a great day. I threw out the first pitch at Wrigley Field.
What's your favorite baseball park besides Yankee Stadium?
I like Dodger Stadium.
That's a nice place.
Yeah. And I like Wrigley Field.
I've never been to Wrigley.
Yeah.
I've been to in Detroit.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was fun. It's very nice, and I enjoyed that a lot. I also like, whenever I can, I'm in California a lot. I go to the Angels, go to the Dodgers, Padres down in San Diego. I like visiting other ballparks. San Francisco, one of my favorite parks. Great up there. Great place to see a game, man.
Really?
Great,
Yeah.
Great. Everyone's walking. There's all these restaurants and bars around, and you're walking. It's downtown now. It used to be, out in the suburbs, Candlestick Park. I also like basketball. I worked a lot in Toronto, and I would go to a lot of games up there. Yeah, I like that. I'm friends with that Raptor. He's a good guy.
What?
The guy in the Raptor suit.
Oh, the guy.
The little guy in the
Raptor suit. I saw the Stones in that arena playing.
Yeah.
But Jets. I used to go to a lot of Jet games. I haven't gone lately, but I used to go a lot. Gandolfini was a Jet fan too. I'm a Jet fan forever. I grew up as a Jet fan. Sometimes they would fly me over from the West Side in a helicopter.
Oh,
go
nice.
see the Jets. Yeah.
That's when you were on top of the fucking world. Now they'll send you a fucking bus pass.
They gave me a token for the tunnel. No, a couple of times we went. My father, my father-in-law, the kids.
That's nice. You know, that's it. When I take my kids and my wife, we'll go see the Rangers playoff game.
Rangers is great. Yeah.
We were invited a few years ago when the Rangers played up in Montreal, went on the private plane, sent the car, got off the plane, into the SUV, into the stadium, up the stairs. Watched the game, came back home. That was a lot of fun. And, you know, listen, when you could do it, like you said, you take your father, I take my wife, I take the kids, I take friends, a lot of friends I grew up with, guys I played ball with in college. I take them to the Knicks game. They sit courtside. You got Clyde there. You know, I like doing that because they're going to do it once. And, you know, I've done it a lot of times. And I honestly enjoy making people happy. And I try to
know it's fun.
Take a lot of different people. When we went to Yankee Stadium and your father's birthday, and they put it up on the board.
You got it. You got his happy birthday name.
And then they brought him the big thing of pastries and cookies, right?
That was fun, yeah.
Desserts. I mean, he enjoyed that, you know. So when you can make other people happy, you know me. I'm a giving guy. I give and give and give.
I know. You're a martyr. I would go so far to say that you're a martyr, Steve.
Kind of.
Kind of a martyr. What about the boxing? Remember we all went to see, what was it, De La Hoya, Trinidad, one of those fights at the Garden. We were all there, Jim and me.
Did I go? I don't know if I went to that.
I would imagine, no?
I forget, you know, I'll be honest, I forget a lot of the fights, you know, and I've been to a lot, especially years ago in Vegas. I was at the Holmes Cooney. Guy tipped me $100. Holmes Cooney.
I saw Lennox Lewis when he became the champ, when he beat Holyfield. I was at that fight. I was in Vegas.
See, those were incredible because especially in the 80s, which was kind of, I think the 80s and the 90s were the boxing. It was time for boxers and heavyweights.
70s too for heavyweights, with Ali and Frazier and Foreman.
But it was, but I'm saying the scene, Caesar's Palace. You know, you got all the high rollers and all the celebrities, and you got the hookers all fucking dressed up, and you know everybody's you know, decked out to go. And I went to a lot of those fights. Yeah. It was a lot of fun, especially. I probably didn't have fucking $10 in my pocket, but I was a bouncer and I would get tipped a ticket. You know, I got to know kind of all these guys. Sometimes I was upstairs and sometimes I was ringside. And I was at Hagler Hearns was an incredible fight.
I met
Tommy Hearns?
Yeah, in Vegas.
Detroit guy,
it was after that, might have been after that fight, after that Holyfield Lennox Lewis fight.
I was at the Aaron Pryor, Alexis Aguayo. I was at the Mancini Dooku Kim when Dooku Kim died at Caesar's Palace. It was a daytime. That fight. I was at that fight.
In the ring?
1982. No, he died 4 days later. They took him out in a stretcher. 1982. It was a daytime.
He was unconscious?
Before work. Yeah. Terrible. And you knew it was bad. You just knew it was bad. And Ray has felt terrible. You know, Ray Mancini, who I've talked to and I like a lot. And I mean, that changed the course of his life, you know.
That'll do it. That'll mess you up.
I was at the Nets finals, the Nets Spurs. I was at a couple of those games, NBA finals.
In New Jersey or Brooklyn?
Jersey.
Did you ever go to a World Series game?
Oh, yeah. Yankees.
I went to when the Yankees played the Mets in 2000. Was that 2000, right? I went to one of the games at Shea, though. Although there were more Yankee fans at Shea Stadium than there was
I'm sure.
Met fans. So I brought up my neighbor and was sitting. HBO called me last minute, said we had tickets. So we went out and we're sitting in a box. I think it was up near the press box, you know, kind of private. And at some point, all these cops come in. And then Giuliani, who was mayor at the time, it was his box. He invited the Sopranos.
Rudy.
So we were sitting in, this is before he was starring in Borat, way before he was into the movie. he was the mayor, and he invited us, and we sat with him and watched.
That's nice. Yeah. And when we, I think I told the story when Steinbrenner invited us, gave us his box.
That was a great day. That was a really fun day.
That was a lot of fun. And but
He was cool.
George was a good guy. And do you know that if you ask for tickets, he saw everyone on the guest list. He had to approve the free tickets.
So if you were on the outs, you don't go. Yeah.
If he didn't like you for some reason, but the Yankees have been great. I've been to a few All-Star games, NBA games. They don't play so hard.
I went once in Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, I went. We weren't together, but I went there also. Wow. That's when that guy drove us around.
Yeah.
Remember? And he said, "Is your wife Italian?" Right? Remember that? And I said, "No, she's Mexican." "Oh, I love Spanish broads. They suck a cock like a racehorse." Remember he said that? Me and you looked at each other. Suck a cock like a racehorse? What's this guy talking about? What horses are you hanging out with?
Speaking of racehorses, Belmont Stakes. We went to a lot of
yes. I went. You invited me, yeah.
Breeders' Cup one year with my buddy Sal Scobo, because we grew up going to Yonkers Raceway with our parents. Our fathers were into the horses. That year with Breeders' Cup, we were hitting we won thousands of dollars. We were giving tips to everybody. All the Sopranos, everybody cleaned up. We were on fire that day.
You used to be a huge.
We were hitting long shots like crazy. I think I won thousands that day, and we were giving tips to everybody. Everybody was making money. It was that crazy. I went to the Kentucky Derby twice. That's a great one.
Oh yeah, I never went.
The first time I went on camera, I predicted the winner, who was the 13-1 long shot.
Wow.
So everybody figured I knew a lot after that, so I got invited everywhere.
But you do know a lot. You were a big horse player.
I used to be really into it. Well, Sirico had a horse with Joe Scarp, our friend Joe Scarpanito, called Carmenuch, who in 1 year was one of the top New York bred 2-year-olds. Won his first race, his maiden race up at Saratoga. We went up, Sirico, me, Mike Sullivan, Joe Scarp. We flew up to Saratoga. And he won that. It was his first race ever. Saratoga is a great place for horse race. It's like a shrine, and it's a beautiful. It's summer. It's only 1 month in August. It's gorgeous. It's like going back in time, and it's just beautiful. And Carmenuch won his first race. I was like my kid winning the World Series. I was we were in the winner's circle, and it was one of the most exciting moments of my life when he came down that stretch and won. Carmenuch, I think, won about $500,000 in purses, and then
didn't they only pay like $5,000 for him?
$5,000. He had a little defect in the X-ray in his heel or his ankle or something, so nobody wanted to buy him. He had very good bloodlines. I think he was related to Bet Twice. And
did he have wings?
He didn't have wings, no.
He didn't have wings,
he was fast, man. And then they sold him, and they went out to stud. But he won, I think, $500,000 in purses in like 1 or 2 years.
I think we went to what's the Belmont?
The Belmont. And
that's a big one. And I was with Sirico. You were there. I think I brought my daughter. I think my daughter was young, your mother and father, or your father. And that Katie Couric. We met Katie Couric and
was there, yes.
Judge Judy. And Sirico could swear Katie was hitting on him. And I saw the whole thing. She wasn't hitting on him in the least bit.
In his mind, it was.
She's very polite. She's very nice. I've got to be friends with her. And she's just a really nice woman. And somewhere in that head of his, yeah, did you see? She was hitting on me. Did you see?
Somewhere between those wings, he concocted this whole romance. Huh? God bless him.
But yeah, I was at a big game, 1976. Chris Chambliss hit a home run. Walk-off homer. The place went crazy. 1976. Friends of mine were in the stands, and the crowd went on the field because it was just pandemonium.
Back then, they used to run on the field, yeah.
It went crazy. My friend Joey took Greg Nettles' hat. They went on the
He
field.
had trouble hitting the bases, right? Because there were too many people on the field, right?
Yeah, and he grabbed Greg Nettles' hat. Greg Nettles punched him right in the face. And all this craziness punched him right in the face as he should have gotten. I mean, it was just craziness, and that was a big game. And listen, I'm a basketball guy, so I was at the Celtics Rockets final. I've been in numerous World Series. One they won. I think a couple they lost, or at least one that the Yankees lost. And I miss that. I miss sports. I mean,
Yeah.
it's different. It's something, but it's not what it is. Hopefully, we'll get back to it. Supposedly, NBA is going to start December 22nd.
All right.
My daughter's
good.
birthday. So
We'll be
hope
there.
so.
Back to the garden.
Let's take a break, and
right.
we'll be right back.
All right, we're back. This is season 3, episode 12.
Great episode. Great.
Amour fou, which means crazy love. It was also a movie in the late 60s, a French film, Amour fou, Crazy Love, directed by Jacques Rivette, which probably because David was a big fan of like the French New Wave and foreign films in the late 60s. It's about the dissolution of a marriage between an actress and a theater director. But what's interesting in the title, because Tony calls it mofo at one point.
Yeah.
Which means motherfucker. And then we relate that to Gloria being a representation of Livia. And because he says at one point, I don't want to fuck my mother. So this title works in a couple of different ways here. And also crazy love between him and Gloria, this very, desperate, the dissolution of the marriage, the testing of the marriage with Carmel and Tony, a resonant title. It's pretty cool.
I'm going to tell you something. If a young actor, I don't care what kind of actor you are, the performance by Annabella is a lesson in just incredible acting. So many colors, so many layers.
Yeah.
It's crazy, mad, happy. Just
in all her episodes.
This is a course in acting. You watch Annabella Sciorra. And of course, Jim and everybody else is great, but it is a great, well-written episode that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, she just nailed this character from the first, and I said it before, from the first moment you see her in the episode she appears in, that character was so clear who she was, and
she was nominated.
The stuff with her and Jim was fantastic.
Yeah. She was nominated for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Drama Series based on this. I got to tell you, it was written by a story by David Chase. Now, let me ask you, because I'm not even sure. Story by David Chase, teleplay by Frank Renzulli. Explain.
Often it's how much, because very often, if you're in the writer's room, you're going to develop stories together. But if one person really, came up with the details of the story pretty much intact, then someone else goes and writes the dialogue, then you'll get the teleplay credit.
Gotcha.
But not all the episodes they're divided that way, because sometimes the story by credit is divided, so they don't talk about it.
And this is a lot about union shit. There's a lot of union and residuals and stuff involved with this.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Frank Renzulli, great writer, and David Chase, they shared a nomination for Outstanding Writing for a Drama Series, and it was directed by Tim Van Patten, and this is his 7th of 20 episodes that he directed. Here we go. We're at the museum.
Now, I asked Jason Minter, who we had, was our location guy and also assistant location guy, but also was David Chase's assistant. I asked him, he said he believed that this was actually shot at the Met, at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York.
Oh, was it?
That painting, it's Giuseppe di Ribera, whose nickname was La Spagnoletto, the little Spaniard. He was a Spanish artist. The painting of St. Catherine, the mystical marriage of St. Catherine, that real painting really does hang in the Met. So,
well, I'm sure it was then.
yeah, and those Rodins, those sculptures, those are all at the Met. I mean, if they recreated that, they would have had to get copies of all that stuff, which
Yeah,
would probably be more expensive than actually shooting at the Met.
probably right. Meadow, do you have a tampon? I'm spotting. You have an examination. They talk about that. This never happens to me. It's the middle of the month. Carmela Meadow, they're looking at the painting. You sure talk the talk, Miss Art History. Meadow likes to put Carmela down. I don't know. Carmela says at some point she went to Montclair State. It never says if she graduated or not. So I don't know if she has a degree or doesn't, but Meadow seems to kind of, especially being an Ivy Leaguer in Columbia, she likes to jab at.
He likes to lord that over her. Yeah, because Carmela says, yeah, imagine being painted by Rubens. And Meadow's like, she was a rich, the wife of some rich merchant.
Yeah.
It's not like she's anything special. Almost comparing Carmela to her. You're the wife of a rich guy, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Positively. The baby Jesus, Carmela's starting to cry. And Meadow just doesn't get it at all. I don't know why Meadow's so mean. I don't understand. I mean, you have a mother that gives a shit about you. She's a little overbearing, but only wants the best for her.
Very often late teens, kids they're just everything the parents do annoys them.
Well,
the song that's playing, Sposa son disprezzata, I am the scorned wife. This song ends the Pine Barrens, the last episode. So now they're repeating the song. The lyrics go, I'm the scorned wife, faithful yet insulted, yet he is my life, my husband, my beloved, my hope. The Pine Barrens ends with that episode. Now it's being repeated. Two other songs are repeated during this. You have the Dean Martin song, Return to Me, which plays twice, two different versions.
Yeah.
One by Dino, one by Dylan. And also the song Affection, which we'll get into later, plays twice. And that's an interesting one.
She asked for a tampon. You know what it reminded me of? I don't know if you ever had to do this, but when I was young, I'm talking young, my mother would send me to the grocery store to buy Kotex.
No. That never happened in my house. I didn't even see those.
Listen,
I didn't even know they existed.
I'm 63 years old. I'm still scarred by this. I had to be 8, 9, 10 years old. Obviously, at the beginning, I didn't know what it was for. But then when you find out, I was horrified that this was on the list and this big blue box was in the fucking... I couldn't be the only kid that had to go do that. Or maybe
I never did.
Or maybe I was.
No, I didn't even see those things.
And then, of course, Carmela, regardless of having to eat, spotting, whatever she's feeling, let's go eat.
She's really good in the scene, Edie. I mean,
It's great. I'm just saying, let's go eat. Once again, they could eat at any time.
So what's going on with her? What do you think? Why is she crying?
My original, until we see what happens later on, I thought good possibility she's pregnant.
She's not pregnant, though.
No, but we don't know that at this time.
Think she's crying because she might be pregnant? She's seeing.
I think the hormones are going, and I think she's crying. And don't you ever get like that? I mean, I've gotten like that where suddenly you're, I don't know, you're extra sentimental, you're extra depressed, you're in a funk, things that you're going makes you sad that what normally that doesn't happen to you?
Nah.
Never.
I'm pretty consistent.
Really? Since fucking when is that? That's bullshit, ladies and gentlemen.
But as she says, it's a marriage of St. Catherine to the baby Jesus and says, marry a baby. And she goes, we all marry a baby. She says, we all do. We all marry babies, and it's, again, referring to the mother, the incestuous.
I think she's referring to Tony.
Yeah, and Tony brings up his mother, and Gloria being a version of his mother, a person who reminds him of his mother. There's all that kind of.
And Meadow says, good luck with that. Meadow has not sensitive at all to.
No sympathy, huh?
None at all. And if you ever need Kotex or a tampon, I'll get it for you.
I'll send you.
All right. Parking garage, which I believe is Melfi's parking garage. Come on.
That's the garage where she got attacked.
Yes.
So it adds a layer of tension there and danger.
Gloria is pleading with him. It's one argument. He said, "You threw a fucking dinner at my head, Gloria. Come on, I'm going through shit with my family. I tried to act in control. I don't want to dwell on it." Why? And then you could see there, why you can't talk to me about your problems. He tells her. He's giving in. You know,
And
she's
she
got
knows
him.
she's got him.
Yeah.
You could see in her face, she knows. And this is this is the type of person it's a fight apology, begging to come back. That's how she.
You know, Tony hasn't returned her phone calls. You kept me waiting 3 hours, she says. He says, if you were a guy, you know where you'd be right now. This is what he tells her. But yet, and she knows. Can I see you later? Can I call you later? You know he's going to give in. Melfi's office, me and this broad were like leather and lace, a burning ring of fire. That's when she calls him what? Amour fou? As the French call it, crazy love, all consuming. We push each other's buttons. But, she's very independent minded. That I do like. See, he likes that she's completely opposite of Carmelo.
He likes it, excites him, but in the end of the day, he doesn't like it because it's too much for him. He kind of prefers. It excites him, but he can't control it, which he's used to being in control of everything. I like that he says, "I'll duke you an extra 5." Duke, I think, comes from ducats, which were gold coins, or were they ducats? I don't know how you pronounce it. Is that where it comes from?
Ducats. Oh, I don't know. But Duke means to tip.
To tip.
For people
he
that
wants
don't
info.
know.
He wants intel on Gloria. He's going to tip her to give her.
She's not going to give it up. He takes a little stab at it. Takes a little veiled stab. He doesn't want to go all in. He calls himself a hardcore captain of industry.
He thinks that's how she sees him, but that's really not.
But he says, there's another side to me. No. And at the end, he says it again. I'm not just a captain of industry. He considers himself, which I guess in some ways he is. He's running many businesses. He has many employees.
But she's saying she's attracted to you because you're a violent person. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you being a successful businessman. It's the fact that you have the potential for violence. He likes the dark eyes. He says she reminds him of a Spanish princess, like in Goyim, which he means Goya, obviously the painter Goya, a different Spanish painter, which goes back to the first scene. Then he's like, "You always got that weird push on when I'm talking about Gloria," like he,
She's jealous. She's still jealous. She's
jealous.
She's jealous.
And she's got this, kind of smugness about like she's just kind of sitting back waiting for this thing to fucking blow up.
Oh yeah. She's kind of on one level. She's liking this. She already warned him from the beginning.
Yeah.
Stay away from her. Melfi says she's complicated. When Tony talks about Gloria, you could see the smile on his face. He's thinking about her as he's describing her to Melfi. He's very smitten by her.
Infatuated, yeah.
But I think he's falling in love with her. So what do you think she is? What does she see in you? He said, "Well, I'm not like these other guys, crybabies running around. Like you said, he's a tough guy." Ralph's house, Ralph Jackie Jr. They're sitting at a poker table. They're in the club.
Dean Martin's playing, Return to Me.
Since we're kicking up, we're hoping you could watch our back. They're kicking up $350.
Which isn't much.
Not much at all, but it's a start. He says, keep coming around. He likes it. He's not kicking that up to Tony. He's not giving Tony half of it. 350 is 350, I guess, right?
Oh, he'll take it. Do that twice a week, or 3 times a week. It's going to add up. He's also, massaging Dino's, giving him a back rub.
Yeah. And then he said, "You're going to be humping Tony Soprano's little girl on the couch. Fuck her. Tony, too, with his stay in school bullshit. He could have helped me." And he says, it's a great line. he should break the dean's legs because you're too lazy to open a book. Jackie Jr. wanted him to call Rutgers or to get something done for him so he doesn't get thrown out of school.
Right. He wants the world to just bow to him, basically.
I don't find Jackie Jr.'s character have nothing redeeming.
No.
There's not one good thing he's done, said, nothing.
He lies to everybody. He's entitled.
He lies like he breathes. He just comes right out of him.
Sense of entitlement that the world owes him everything. He even says it in this. They're not going to mess with us because I'm Jackie April's son.
I find he has not one redeeming quality. The bedroom, Tony and Gloria lying in bed, so she got her way.
That song is Affection. That is Little Steven and the Lost Boys from an unreleased album that he made called Little Steven and the Lost Boys. Album Nobody Loves and Leaves Alone, it's called. But it's unreleased for some reason. A couple of the songs have been used on The Sopranos and on Lilyhammer, but it's, I think to this day, still an unreleased album, but a very good song. Really good song.
She's telling him, she's telling him about her family stuff and the niece and nephew and her brother-in-law is a crackhead and I love these kids. They won't let me see it. And Tony is bored to shit. He don't want to hear it, man.
He don't want to hear it. She says, yeah, they accuse me of turning the kids against the father. Like, it's just, she's a complicated.
This is red flags all over the place. Tony is bored. You could see he tries to change the subject.
He says, we got a new Santa. He's not as good. He's talking about Bacala.
She brings up, they don't say Christmas. They call it the Winter Festival. That annoys her.
They call it the C word, Christmas.
Yeah, she's hoping that somehow she'll get hit by a truck, she says.
She's hoping she's going to get hit by a truck. She's got a suicidal ideation. Yeah, she has suicidal ideation, definitely. And then she says, it never rains. I'm going to get fired at close. She's somebody who really also feels like a victim by the world. Everything's against her family, her job, her ex. It's all just negative.
Tony could hear this at home if he wanted. The whole idea, like I've repeated 100 times here, with their Gomara.
The whole concept of a Gumar is
no problems.
No problem.
We're going to eat. We're going to drink. We're going to fuck. We're going to laugh. Everything's left outside that door. He doesn't tell her about his problems. She don't tell him. Every day is Christmas Eve. It's a holiday. It's a birthday.
But not with Tony. He never gets this, it seems.
And certainly with the ones he chooses, which Melfi talks about, and we'll talk about again later. This is his choosing, right?
This is his choosing, yeah.
The Ufa Pizzeria.
Kevin Giannicelli, who was one of our crew members on The Sopranos, as well as an actor.
3 guys are smoking. He doesn't like it. This Jackie Jr., Dino, they go over there. He pulls a gun on him.
Jackie makes big mistakes all over the place.
He's an asshole. Go find him. And I don't believe he's a tough guy in the least bit. He just hasn't been challenged.
Right.
Has he been challenged? No.
Just by Tony. Tony beats him up.
But you know what I'm saying? He's got the gun. Go find the fucking Taco Bell before I cap your asses. Christopher walks in. He's calling them names. First of all, I like Taco Bell.
I've never had Taco Bell, ever.
I like Taco Bell.
What do you get there?
Well, I haven't gone in years, but, I would get tacos. But Taco Bell's okay. He's using it very derogatory here.
But your wife is Mexican-American. Does she like Taco Bell?
No.
Of course not. She knows the real deal. That's like you going to Olive Garden.
Exactly. But I'm just saying Taco Bell's okay. I don't go there, but I've been there. I like Chipotle. I like a place in Laguna, Papa's Tacos. Those are all better.
Chipotle is, I don't know Chipotle either. I haven't been there.
Chipotle's good. I like Chipotle.
That authentic? Is it good Mexican food?
Oh, listen, it's every Italian food authentic.
Most of it's not.
I know. Chipotle is like a pizzeria. Your basic pizzeria, let's put it that way. All right?
Yeah.
So, Jackie,
Chris has an idea for to hijack a cigarette truck, and he's looking maybe get these guys to come on board. They did the thing at Rutgers. They got some money. Maybe they can, get some action.
He says we're with Ralphie now. Tony's not going to like it. Christopher tells him unless somebody's paying you nut, they have no say in how you make a living.
And I guess that's true to some extent, all right? They probably kick up to Tony, and then Tony would just be happy he's getting a cut. Kind of like, I guess the boss is like, as long as you're kicking up, they don't really care what you do. As long as he stays out of it.
Yeah.
And he gets paid. You can do
we
whatever
see that
you
later on.
All right.
Vito's getting a pass. Probably the ultimate no-no in mob world. Vito being gay. He's a big earner. Tony's willing to kind of give him a pass.
Big earning gets a wide berth. Let's put it that way.
There you go. Mercedes dealership. Carmela's reading the paper, waiting for her truck or whatever. What does she have? A wagon?
She's got a wagon, yeah.
To get service. They mention Mrs. Soprano. They are not, they call her name. Gloria hears that. And
this reminds me of
Fatal Attraction.
When she shows up at the house, when they're selling the apartment in the city.
Oh, yeah.
And they're having an open house or whatever, and Glenn Close shows up, and Ann Archer's in the house and doesn't know who she is.
Horrifying. Now, I've told you the story before, I think, and if I did, it's okay. Friend of mine in Vegas. He's seeing a girl. He's married. I know him and his wife. He works in a casino. He's seeing this dealer. Long story short.
Card dealer, not a drug dealer.
Yeah, card dealer. He's a boss in the casino. He's seeing her. She's married. He's married. He tells her, all right, I'm going to leave my wife. She's going to leave her husband.
And they're going to get married.
Yeah, they're going to run off together. And they're seeing each other for 6 months. Finally, he goes into work. She says, I left my husband. He says, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't leave my wife. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. A week later, 3 days later, 4 days later, he comes home. She's in the house, sitting in the living room with his wife.
As what? Under what?
Says she knocked on the door and said, I've been sleeping with your husband.
Oh, not as a veiled threat, as just blowing it up. He
lays it out. He's there. Me, I would have turned around. I told him, and I would have gotten in the car, and I just would have fucking drove away. I don't know what would have happened from there. I just would have got.
So how did it resolve? What happened?
So she said, she says, well, the girlfriend says to the wife, he says he hasn't slept with you in 3 months. She said, we slept together Wednesday night, the wife says. He's sitting there. He's sitting there. And every word, everything's on the table. Horrifying. How's it end up? She and him are going to try it, the girlfriend. And he was out of the house for a couple of weeks, and his wife took him back, and that was it.
What a nightmare.
That's a fucking nightmare. I would have gotten the car, and I just would have drove, and I don't know what would happen.
I love that movie, by the way.
Fatal Attraction?
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
I think it's great. It's one of my favorite my favorite out of Michael Douglas's work, but Glenn Close is just amazing.
You better believe.
So was Ann Archer. She's really good.
You better believe after that movie that a lot of people called up their gumadas and broke it off.
Broke it off.
You better fucking believe it.
It was a bad gumad.
You better believe it.
But a really good, the acting's really good in that movie. Glenn Close is out of control.
Gloria asked a lot of questions.
Do you know there was a different ending to that movie? Did you know that?
Yeah.
She kills herself, and she puts, she kind of frames him for the, Glenn Close kills herself in the original ending and frames Michael Douglas for the murder with his fingerprints on the knife or something. And then the studio was like, no, she's got to die. She's got to be the villain. and she's got to die. It was kind of a sympathetic ending in a way for her. And she's got to be killed. You know, he saves his family by killing the villain, and she didn't want to do it. She really fought it and was resistant. At the end of the day, she kind of did it. And
I mean, you know, the premise of that movie, which has happened. I mean, family goes away for the weekend. He's a family guy, loves his family, decides make a bad decision, cheats with the wrong woman, and she wasn't having.
Was she the wrong woman?
Fucking. Gloria's asking a lot of questions. She's asking, you know, about the kids, how many kids you have, and Carmela wears it on her sleeve. My daughter lives in New York City. That's a big thing to her, and she goes to Columbia.
And she's at School of Broadcasting. She just wants a shit on her, and
and she's speeding. She's driving crazy.
She's driving reckless. She sees the ring.
Sees the ring.
She's just full of contempt.
What does your husband do? You know, very mysterious. It's a beautiful ring. He's involved in a few businesses. She's speeding. She's getting reckless. She's stewing. Gloria is getting madder and madder.
And she's going to use all this against Tony.
Jackie Jr.'s house in the kitchen. Jackie and Dino, they're having leftover spaghetti.
Ralph's making cocoa. He's looking for marshmallows.
Cocoa. It's late. Rose already in bed.
Ralphie's a bad influence. He's a terrible, terrible influence.
Well, which is what we see what happens later on.
He's saying Chris got make. Ralphie's like he wanted it and stepped up and took it. You know, it's basically kind of saying to these guys that's what they got to do.
And he's glorifying all this.
Glorifying it.
Jackie Sr. and Tony, that's how they became rising stars. And
I also didn't realize that they went that far back, Ralphie and Tony.
I'm with you. I was going to tell you the same thing. I had no idea that they were childhood friends. Yeah. And I guess it's like a bunch of guys grew up in a neighborhood. Some became wise guys, some didn't. And Ralphie was just one of those guys and went to Florida and then came back and, you know, found his way back. And he says he would have got made much sooner. Jackie Jr. is listening to this old war stories about his dad, like his dad was a war hero or something. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Well, they took down Feach Lamana's car, Saturday Night Card Game. Feach Lamana is played by
Robert Loggia,
and they say Feach got made in Italy, which I didn't. I forgot that too. Feach goes back to the old country.
He was an original. We see Feach. I don't know if it's this season or next season. Feach Lamana.
He's great character. Great.
He pops up at some point, but you know, then Ralphie gives him a little slam. Make sure you rinse the dishes before you put it in the dishwasher. So, you know.
Oh, but Ralphie wasn't at when they hijacked the card game because he had the clap from a hippie.
Clap.
And I wonder, he's not referring to Janice.
No. I think this is the first time he's with, you know, the Janice thing.
No.
He doesn't go back with her. But why would the clap keep you anyway from going out?
He was in pain. He was suffering.
Really? I never had the clap. You have the clap?
I did not. No. Nor do I know what it feels like. I'm sure it's not pleasant.
I don't know. I never had it, but I didn't know you had to stay in. If you guys had the clap out there, guys, women, let us know. Is it painful? Could you not go out at night?
Sure,
could you not go wrong? Is it painful enough to not
have discharge? You're going to have discharge during a robbery of a card game? That's going to get in the way.
Oh, okay. That's what I want to know, folks.
I think it probably burns and is discharged. That ain't fun.
Okay. Tony and Gloria, they kiss goodnight. Gloria says, let's do it right here. This is what.
Well, first you got the living room, the Carmela, watching the dog commercial.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Oh, yeah. And she breaks down crying over a pet food commercial. Is that it?
Pet food, saying, what can we do to protect them? They're protective of us, which also goes back to Tony and the ducks and the family and the kids and even the ending of the series. Like, it's a theme that's throughout the whole show. She's kind of tapping into that. Yeah, I'm not really sure what is she. Is it like midlife crisis? She realized she's on the verge of it's the last chance to have kids. Does she want to have kids?
I think maybe it's all of that. They live very complicated lives.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just, by the time of this episode, we'll talk about it. Tony's life in itself, this day or two or day and a half, however, over what time it transpires, it's insanity.
Who would want that? Nobody.
I'd rather sleep
Boss, no boss.
I'd rather be in a single room occupancy by myself, playing with my fucking balls. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, it's.
I mean, who needs
not
this?
Exciting.
And the big house and the Gomata. What the? Let's simplify, man. Simplify. Tear it down.
It doesn't seem like fun. Actually, the only time he really has fun is when he's hanging with the guys. Sometimes they'll have a few laughs.
Yeah, they have laughs. They're eating, they're drinking. I mean, because otherwise,
that seems like the only fun he really has.
This is no fun. Gloria's house, a kiss goodnight. She says, let's do it right here, which is what he loves about her. And she says, my tires are slashed. And they go at it. And this is an incredible scene and one of many. But here is, again, Annabella / Gloria. They wind up having a fight. Tony, I don't know. Did Irina really slash the tires? I guess it seems like I don't know.
Think it's. No, there's a couple of theories here.
I
can't imagine if Irina would know where she lives. Irina doesn't seem like she's that on top of everything Tony's doing. She wants to, but doesn't seem like she's stalking him.
He said,
"You want not Irina? Who is it? Do you think Gloria might have done it herself?
It's possible
to make drama. Who the fuck knows? No,
that's really, really crazy. It could be, but really crazy. She doesn't know how he's going to react.
She might have some ex-boyfriend.
Oh, she's got 7 ex-boyfriends that she probably drove crazy. Tony gives a face. He falls into it instead of just saying, what are you talking about? He falls into it. She cut my tires once. I slapped the shit out of her.
And that gets a rise out of her.
Why would you say that? She wouldn't do it. I slapped the shit out of her.
She lights up when she hears that. You see her reaction. Maybe also she's having trouble at work. Some guy is sexually harassing her. It could be that too. So she's somebody who leaves a lot of wreckage all over the fucking place.
He slapped.
I think it's more someone in her history than Irina. Yeah.
She says this HIV-laden slut slashes my tires. Tony brings up her family, her problems. Bad move, just a bad move, and she goes off.
She goes off, man.
Yeah.
She goes off, and then she also you got a guilty conscience. Why else would you pay for them if you didn't have a guilty conscience? Because he offers to pay for the tires. He assumes that he's offering to pay because he pays for everything. He'd rather just avoid the argument and the drama and just pay for the tires so they can have a nice night. He's not doing it out of a guilty conscience, but she likes to project that.
Let's look at this guy. She threw a steak at him. He's had numerous incidents already. What is it going to take? We know what it's going to take, but how much has he taken already? He's out of his mind.
And he doesn't even know that she drove Carmela home.
Correct. Not yet. Jackie Jr., they're sitting in front of the house. They're talking about the card game. Jackie Jr., we could take it down. Dino's not down. What are you, crazy? He's with Ralph.
Why are they taking down Ralph's card game?
Because they're stupid. They're really stupid guys. And I don't know why. If you're going to take a card game down, find somewhere, somehow, somebody
Ralph's
else.
The guy who's trying to help you out.
They take Eugene runs this game. They want to take the game down. They figure it out. My old man's Jackie. They're not going to do nothing. Worse happens. We got to give some of the people some of the money back. Then we're going to be free agents. We can call our shots. He's dumb. Jackie Jr. is really dumb.
It's a horrible idea. Yeah.
It's a horrible idea.
He also, accuses Ralph. He says, quotes, I think he's a secret fag.
Yeah. And that's always been that rumor swirling.
Yeah, he with his gladiator move, with his back rubs and it gets even more bizarre later on. His sexual proclivities gets very kind of bizarre. Then they're watching Basic Instinct, which is a Michael Douglas movie, which somehow connects to the Fatal Attraction. And Wayne Knight, who I forgot was in that movie. Newman on Seinfeld.
Newman was sweating his balls off when he saw Sharon Stone snatch.
Now, is that really her, Sharon Stone?
What was
or
it?
Is it a body double?
A stunt double?
I have no idea. They do that all the time.
A stunt snatch?
They do it all the time in show business.
A stunt twat? What is it? I don't understand.
Maybe.
How could that be? They didn't close. They didn't give you a close up.
She might have had a nudity clause.
But they didn't give you a close up of it. You saw the whole body, didn't you?
CGI?
Listen, I don't think so. I think it was her. I think she went for it, and you know what? She became a star because of it.
Because of that.
Everyone's talking about it to this day.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
And that's been referenced a lot. That was a crazy movie. She played a great role in it. And she was willing to do that, go out there and show the world.
But just because you do that doesn't mean that's going to happen. Like if you or I did it, it probably wouldn't have happened the same way.
You're probably right. Just because you show it, it doesn't mean you're going to be a star.
You got to be careful because things can backfire.
Absolutely. Well, a hell of a lot more women have showed it, and nothing happened, right? But I think Newman was sweating. He was sweating like hell. He enjoyed that moment. It's funny. Church confessional.
The priest is played by Isaac de Bancole.
He's great.
He was in a couple of Jim Jarmusch's movies, Night on Earth and Limits of Control. A very good actor from originally from the Ivory Coast, but was discovered on the streets of Paris as he was in the process of training to be an airline pilot. And I guess some casting director saw him on the street and brought him in for an audition, and he became an actor.
What I liked about him? It's very raw. He's not trying to act priestly. It's very raw, rough. I like it, and I believed it very much. Instead of your typical, bullshitty priest, there's another different kind of guy here. I thought that was great casting. The psychiatrist told me that my whole life is a lie, and he's right. Now I think I'm sick, and if I die, I will never be with God in eternity. She self-diagnosed herself as having ovarian cancer.
She's really suffering, and it's shot with all this red light, like because she's thinking of she's going to go to hell. She's not going to go to heaven. She's not going to be with God. She's trying to make peace with the fact that she's taking advantage of the lifestyle, the fancy jewelry. The ring becomes a big thing in this episode.
Yeah.
Like the ring is talked about several times, and it's in this episode as well. You see.
I'm very surprised though through this, and then he says, "Let's go into the office." She's very blunt, very honest. I'm just surprised. It's because he's a priest, and she trusts that she's so open and honest about it. I'll be honest.
She wants to get it off her chest. She's desperate.
I think she also is looking for someone to give her an easy way out after the doctor told her to get her stuff and run.
And he does. He gives her an easy way out. She says, "I love my husband. I love God. But our lifestyle's financed by his crimes. It's blood money to some degree, right?" This priest is getting his doctorate in psychology. That's why Father Phil says he sent her to him, but maybe Father Phil just doesn't want to have to make a stand on Tony, basically.
Yeah. And
Father Phil is
he's a freeloading bullshit artist. And we see him coming up soon. He's a freeloading motherfucker.
So he tells her, God understands that we live in the middle of tensions. It's a complex world. You got to learn to live on what the good part earns, forgo the things that lay without it. Basically saying, try to focus on the good stuff your husband does and try not to, and I think I'm wondering if, he says there's a point inside yourself, there's an inner boundary beyond which you feel culpable. Maybe does she sell that ring or give it to charity or something like that? Because you don't see it.
I don't know if we never see it again.
I don't know. It's a good question. You don't see it after this episode. I'm wondering if she thinks maybe she's gonna to kind of make penance, not be so, indulged.
I don't know if
in
she sold the
lifestyle.
ring because he would know that. She says goes and she got it fitted, but I don't know if she got rid of it. Maybe she's just not going to wear it. He says
That's her way of bargaining through this, in a way.
divorce is not an option. That's what she wants to hear. You know what it's like? A hypochondriac. He goes to 5 doctors. He swears that he needs a knee replaced, and they say no, and they'll find that 5th doctor that says, yeah, you do need your knee replaced.
And he doesn't really need it.
That's what they do, and that's what I think she's doing. She didn't like what that other psychiatrist told her. Get your shit and go. Blood money. Get out of here. She didn't like that. She's gonna find, and she found them. The Soprano kitchen. Tony's eating cereal. He's reading the newspaper. She tells him that the Queen of Mean, Meadow, broke up with Jackie Jr.
She brings up the mad cow disease too, that the English aren't telling people, and maybe they didn't want to create a stampede. He tells a bad joke.
That's the second bad joke he told in this episode. He had another one with Gloria in bed. I don't know if it was a Buddhist joke, maybe. Angie Papacero, Jackie was thrown out for smoking pot. He was caught cheating on an exam. Noah got a 4.0. He's going to India. She could have stayed with him. I mean, Meadows 18, 19 years old. What are you doing here?
But he's going to India for the UN or something. I thought he was a film student, but I guess not.
But what are you in such a hurry to get this girl married? What are you doing?
Yeah, let her find her way a little bit. Yeah, she's glad she's not with Jackie. Jackie seemed like not what she wants for her.
Like I said,
she wants her daughter to have a doctor, a lawyer, some professional, something out of this element that they kind of grew up in.
No redeeming factor. The phone rings. It's Gloria. She is a saleswoman. She, see if she wants to test the E-series.
And Tony when he realizes the worlds are colliding here, and he does not like that.
He shits. His head is spinning. That's what my friend must have felt like.
That's what
he walked into his thing. He shits. Globe Motors. Tony arrives, pulls up, crazed, grabs her by the arm, drags her into the office, puts his huge hand. Jim had huge hands.
Big hands, yeah.
Way bigger than mine. Puts it around her neck. Her head looks like a baseball compared to.
And she loves that he's angry. She's very excited by it. You can see it.
Choke. You look at my eyes. You don't tell me. Look, I don't want to argue with you. You're upset. I understand. He's crazed and pissed. Grabs her in public. Pretty rough with her.
Yeah, and also this Steve Buscemi walks past as an extra.
That's not.
Is that what it says on the HBO thing? But it looks a little tall for Steve Buscemi.
That's bullshit. False, fake news. That was not Steve Buscemi. I saw that note in one of their Wikipedia. Somebody fucked up there.
It's not though, right?
No, I was not Steve Buscemi.
It's almost Steve Buscemi.
It's a Steve Buscemi lookalike. He's on the circuit, Steve Buscemi. I've seen a Michael Imperioli lookalike. You could hire a guy that looks like you for a party.
Yeah, I would love that.
Well,
I'll hire him to do the podcast. I'll just... I won't have to do it anymore. He'll do it with you.
That's a good idea. Michael Imperioli impersonator.
He says, tell your shrink you ruined 8 relationships, and she just starts begging, I'm sorry, it'll never happen again. It'll never happen again. That's her,
Yeah, he's livid. I mean, he is as pissed as you ever seen him.
Yeah, he's had enough at that point.
He puts her up against the wall there. Next scene, medical center. Carmela's having an ovaries check because the priest said, go to your OBGYN.
Dr. Rotelli, which means wheels.
And she tells him the truth. Don't mince words. Just tell me right out. She's convinced she has cancer.
Do you think it's somehow related to Gloria? Like almost psychically, she's perceiving on some intuitive level what's going on with Tony, that this toxic, dangerous woman is in his life?
He's had so many women. Why this one?
Wow, because she's not like every other one. She's much more dangerous. She's much more disturbed and toxic. And
I don't think it's so much that. I think it's he has more feelings for this one than probably any of the others.
And that too.
That's what I think.
And she's
maybe,
you know, she's intuitive. She might be feeling that. It might be really challenging her sanity and her marriage, you know.
Jackie Jr.'s house.
What is that? Vanilla Ice? Is that what that is?
Vanilla Ice.
Jackie, you know what I realized?
Ding 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 ding. Remember when they accused him of plagiarism or something?
Well, that bass line is from Under Pressure, Queen and David Bowie.
But there was he had some controversy. But now, I believe, I don't know if it's still on the air, he remodels homes. He's a home rebuilder, remodeler.
Second act for Vanilla Ice.
He had his own TV show.
Jackie and Dino remind me a little bit of Matt and Sean. You know, Matt Bevilacqua and Sean Gismonti. Very similar thing, right? These two kind of trying to do this thing. Bad idea, bad plan, influence. They took a little bit of influence from Richie. These guys are taking influence from Ralphie. They think this job, this very dangerous thing, is going to make them rise up the ranks, and it's just the opposite. And one of the guys dies, and one goes on the lam. It's a very similar storyline.
Very similar. And what's the guy's name that plays Dino? Davoli?
Dino Zerilli is played by
Davoli?
What?
I'm sorry.
Andy Davoli.
And I tell you what, he's a really good actor. He's really, really good. I don't hate him as a character. I don't hate his character. For some reason, he's not the brightest, and he's going along with this. I think he's ambitious.
If he had better influence, he would have kind of
absolutely. If he worked for Christopher by himself, he would have been fine. Right. Jackie Jr. is a bad influence. He's a really good actor. He does a good job.
And Andy Davoli or Davoli, I don't know how you pronounce it. In Italian, you'd say Davoli.
He does a really good job. We're at Vesuvio's, Carmela, Rosalie, Angie, Gabriella. They're eating. Ro doesn't like the Gallimard salad.
Is this the first appearance of Gabriella Dante, Maureen Van Zandt?
No, we've seen her before. No, we've seen her before.
Really?
Numerous times. We saw as early on as when Father Phil was at the house, I believe, season 1. Really? Early on. Another thing, or season 1 or season 2, Rose always complaining. Rose
really bummed out that Meadow and Jackie.
Yeah.
Not only that they broke up, but that it's no big deal to Meadow. Carmela's like, it rolls right off her back, like she's already over this guy, and I think Ro really resents that and makes her feel really bad.
Well, that's like a lot of celebrities. You notice that I don't understand this. They go from marriage to marriage to marriage to marriage.
They go from celebrity to celebrity usually.
You know, weeks later, it's like, wait a minute. This fucking guy or girl was married for 10 years, and, you know, a month later, she's already moving in with another guy.
Well, there might have been some overlap. That's why she's
But I'm just saying that they don't seem to, you know, honestly, you know, they don't seem to have that mourning period. I feel bad. Before I jump back in. It seems a lot of that. They just keep on moving. Jennifer Lopez moves pretty quickly. And I like her. I'm a fan. I'm just saying. She goes. They get married. A couple months later, married again. Were you like that in your younger day?
No, not really. Not really, no. I wasn't a celebrity.
You've gone out with other celebrities. I've never, you know, I've been with my wife for a long time. I've never dated celebrity people.
Yeah, but there wasn't the glamour spotlight.
You've dated many a woman with a 8x10, a headshot. I've never have.
What are you getting at? I really don't understand what the point is. That I was divorcing them and moving on from one to the other? What do you?
I'm asking you if you did
It
that.
has nothing to do with that. The people when I was young, they were not big stars who were like in the spotlight in the gossip column every day.
Okay.
Well,
Getting
when I was young, there was.
Getting a little fucking touchy.
Well, you're making these strange connections and analogies.
It's a little touchy. You're a little touchy. As Paulie would say, you're getting a little cunty.
Well, Carmela explains that it's only a little thyroid thing. It has nothing to do with cancer. It has nothing to do with being pregnant. She thought she might have been pregnant. And they talk about the grief they go through with their husbands, and then they bring up Hillary Clinton, who had to suffer all that humiliation and smile through it, how they wouldn't do it. Roe hates Hillary Clinton, but they do admire that she managed to set up her own thing throughout this, in the wake of all this tragedy and humiliation. And in that sense, she's a role model to these women.
Well, Carmela first doesn't like it until she thinks about it.
Right.
Also, she said, walk around, I would bury myself in a hole if the whole world, which was pretty humiliating, the Monica Lewinsky situation. And
if that really happened.
You don't believe that Monica Lewinsky?
You know what? I think that was all a plot, a setup.
Hold on a fucking second. Hold on. Because I got to brace myself here.
What?
You're telling me that you don't think Monica Lewinsky...
You think that guy would do, the president of the United States would have an affair with an underling,
It wasn't an affair.
What was she? An intern? Or an assistant? What was she?
An intern. She performed.
You think the president of the United States would do that in the White House?
Yeah.
I don't.
It's a big place.
Well, we know it's a big place.
He's in his bed. Hillary's on the road.
I don't think it's
He's
true.
got a little bit of a fucking, listen. He's thinking. He starts getting a little, a little pudgy, a little chubby. He's getting a little hard on. Nobody else is around.
I think it was a big setup to get him out.
So it never happened. The blue dress, the stain. This is all.
Could get any blue dress. I mean, what are you gonna? That's easy.
So you honestly believe this is fake?
I don't think Clinton would do something like that.
Have you met Bill Clinton?
I know him. Yeah. Look,
I've met him.
You see that?
Yeah. That's you and Bill, and who else?
Me, Bill, and Andrew Cuomo.
And I've met him numerous times, and I think he's a very nice guy. And I'll bet my life on it that it's the truth.
I asked him that night about it, and he said it was all fake and a big setup.
You can't be this insane.
I asked him, and he looked me in the eye and said it was all bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't. You've got me. Listen. You got me at a loss for words. That hardly ever happens.
Listen, stranger things have happened, no? You think in the White House he's going to do that, something like that?
Yeah.
He's going to bring a girl in the old, where was
No, he didn't bring her in. She was working there. She's probably made, alluded to before, maybe flirted with him. He's home. The timing's right. Bango.
There's people all over the place.
Not when he tells them to get out. Yeah. And that's why everyone knows about it. That's why everyone knows about it. Okay. It never happened. All right. JFK, too. Conspiracy theories.
Well, JFK is a different story.
Listen, you've talked about the New Jersey Devil. You said squids from outer space. Dolphins are smarter than...
Well, that's true. That's it. The squids from outer space is real. Dolphins are more... listen, I'm not going to be silenced. Not by you, not by Jeff Sussman, not by David Chase, not by anyone, okay? I'm going to say what I need to say on this show.
You say that you're sober? I'm starting to doubt it. You said that you're
very sober.
I'm starting to have my
Tim
doubt.
Cook, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. I'm not going to be silenced by anybody. You're going to get the truth from me here, my friend. All right? That's how it's going to be.
I hear you. All right, bada bing. Back room. Tony's on the phone talking. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe his lawyer, the RICO. He's talking business.
He's talking about the plane tickets, mail and wire fraud, and they're going to fold that into a big RICO indictment against
Patsy
him.
comes in. I don't know. It's a woman. I think she's crying.
So one headache to another. One headache with RICO. Now he's got the girl. It's just like fucking terrible.
Let's recap so far. Is this in a day? Maybe 2 days. I'll give it 2 days. I don't even know.
Yeah, barely.
Okay. He's got problems with the slash tires. That was at night. The slash tires, that whole scenario. Then he finds out that Gloria drives his wife home. Got that scenario. He's got to go over there. He puts her up against the wall. He's got this RICO thing. You got her crying.
Then the card game.
Card game's coming. Just think about this. A week, a day, 3 days in the life of Tony Soprano.
And it's probably right after Christmas, I think. It's like Christmas happened like a week ago. It's horrible.
So she's crying hysterical. You know, she's crying so bad that she can't even breathe, you know, where you're hyperventilating there. Next thing, Tony goes to her house. I just want the way it was. I love you. Stop it, Gloria. It's over. You push men away. You bring it on yourself. And she just goes off. You know, you think you could treat me like some stupid fucking Goomba housewife?
Stupid. You're going to treat me like a stupid fucking Goomba housewife. I'm going to let some fucker shit all over me because he buys me some ridiculous gaudy ring.
He's talking about you think I'm your wife. And let me tell you that Carmela and Tony have been together for a long time. It's kind of the thing, he could say what he wants, but don't you talk bad about my wife. And that's what's happened here.
That's a line that
she's really putting his Carmela down
you
here.
You can't come back from that, yeah. And he's also the whole thing, well, I'm going to sit back like a mute while you screw every woman out there. It's like she's his, he's cheating on his wife with her. You know what I mean? It's like the whole mentality of it is so fucking twisted to begin with.
And then she says, I'll go to Colombia. I'll talk to your daughter. I'll tell your daughter the whole thing. He picks her up and he slaps her.
Like a rag doll, yeah. He picks her up like
throws her down. That looked like a dummy.
It's a very scary fight.
Was that a stunt woman? Looked
Probably.
like a dummy, yeah.
It's probably a stunt woman, yeah.
I mean, picks her up like a rag doll. He's choking her. Fight, yeah. She wants him. She spits in his face. Kill me, kill me, kill me. Very scary, very crazy. Red flags. Tony loses it. Why he doesn't kill her, I don't know.
Well, and then she says at one point, he goes, "You think my life's a picnic?" And she goes, "Poor you." No, and nobody cares if I'm alive or dead. And he realizes that's when he realized she's Livia.
Yeah. Wow.
It takes that, and then he finally realizes that she is Livia, and that I've known you my whole life. And then it really dawns on him. He's like, "What the fuck am I into?" And he gets close to killing her. He's close to killing her.
Yeah. Out in the street, Jackie Jr., Dino, Carlo, Matouche. I like Matouche. I like this guy that plays the actor. He's very, very low key. I also like, he doesn't look like a wise guy, doesn't act like a wise guy. He's just like a guy that got caught up in bad shit here. I don't know.
Yeah, he was selling the little X, and now he's got to do it. You're going to help him to do this, and you drive us. You don't got to do nothing. We're going to hook you up.
He has a second thoughts, Jackie Jr. Let's go down the shore. Fuck it. Let's just go down. Dino, let's do it before now Dino's saying, let's do it. First, Dino was the guy. Are you sure? Now Jackie Jr. is having his doubts.
Well, now they're jacked up on speed.
Certainly Dino is. I don't know if Jackie Jr. is, but he's having second
thoughts. Well, he
thoughts.
says let's. So
and this is the worst decision of Jackie Jr.'s life, obviously.
Terrible idea.
Terrible. He tells Matouche what Chris told him outside of Rutgers. I think it's the same words, right? I don't care if unless it's God, don't pull away. I don't care who comes by, right? And this is the worst decision of his life right here. This is it. They decide to go through with this, the card game. Jackie Jr. comes in. Dino Carlo busts in. Christopher Furio, Eugene Sunshine playing cards. Albert is in the bathroom.
Albert
Sunshine,
Beret.
Sunshine won't shut up.
And it's a low-level game. They're not even going to make that much money here.
No.
Right? And
There's no 20 large here.
Sunshine's quoting JFK. Victory has 100 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. Then he quotes Kipling. He's just won't shut up.
He's really irritating. He's really irritating, Sunshine. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And now, does Chris see that it's Jackie Jr. or Dino?
He sees that it's Dino, and then he realizes it's Jackie Jr.
And,
he hears his voice, and he just kind of puts it together.
Dino's getting crazy. Albert comes out of the bathroom. They shoot, and it's a huge, huge gunfight. Probably the biggest one in Soprano land ever. Furio gets shot in the leg. They kill Sunshine. I mean, this is
They kill Sunshine, yeah. It's really bad.
Terrible. I don't know if Sunshine's a wise guy or not, but he's friends, obviously.
He's not a made guy. He's a card dealer, and he's an associate. He does their executive game. He's a friend. He's an associate. It's bad. It's just bad all over the place. And
Jackie Jr., Dino run out in the street. They never even thought that this could possibly happen. We're just going to go in with guns. They're just going to give us some money, and we're going to leave, if you think about this.
And Matusha's gone.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone. He
hears the gunshots and he leaves.
He leaves. And good move for him. That saved his life. They don't know that he's there.
They have no idea that he's there.
They have no idea that Matusha's there. He'll live again. They really fucked up big time here. Jackie Jr. steals a car. And then to show what kind of guy he is, he doesn't let Dino get in because they could have got away. They could have got away. And he did not do that. He left him there to die. Sure enough, they kill him in cold blood right in the street. He says, well, we're Ralphie. And Chris and Albert kill him right in the street. Jackie could have saved him. Bad guy.
Bad plan, bad guy, just all over the place. I mean,
Dr. Freed showing a commercial about erectile dysfunction,
which is hilarious. That's another great Soprano detail. It's not just like he's home, he's in bed, he's in a restaurant, he's shooting a commercial for erectile. It's great. That kind of. This is why the show is
absolutely
so good.
All these little subtle things that someone wouldn't think of. It's the second, the third, the fourth layer of things.
And he's a good actor, Louis Stadlin. He plays the part great. I love what he does with Dr.
They takes the bullet out of Furio's leg. Tony and Christopher there. I mean, Furio is beside himself screaming. Tony says, maybe you can remove his lady's underwear, give him a bulge. Chris is saying, he's going to cut an artery, take it easy. They take the bullet out. Walk into the hallway. Christopher and Tony walk out. He says, this little motherfucker, he's going, Tony. As soon as I find him, he's going. Tony says, no.
You're not.
I'm doing them tonight.
Took a shot at me and Furio. We're made. He says, I decide, not you. And Chris is basically saying, you're a hypocrite because he's Jackie's son. You're going to let him get off easy, which is wrong. You're full of shit. You preach all this wise guy shit, but in the end, it's all what's good for you.
And he grabs Chris by the lapels. I don't know if you love me, it'll break my heart, but you're going to respect me. The pork store.
Cut that transition shot of the bridge, sun up. It's dawn. Beautiful. Bridge. There's always death coming. So I guess we're referring to, Jackie Jr.
Now, what was this? They were up all night drinking in the Bada Bing? Is that it? So this is morning? It's 6 a.m. or something?
Yeah.
Silvio's still drinking. I remember the days when you were drinking 6 a.m, 7 a.m. When I was drinking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the morning.
No more.
If I did that now, I would be shot. I'd be shot for a week. I couldn't leave the house. It's crazy.
You can't. You gotta.
When you drink yourself straight, you ever do that? You drink so much.
You were the first person that ever said that. I've never heard that expression until you said it. So explain what that means to the audience here.
You drink it all night. You go to dinner. It's 8 o'clock. You have dinner. You're starting to drink, laugh, You're drinking. You hit this spot, that spot, and you're just going, and you're going, and suddenly you drank so much, and it's 8 hours later that
You're sober?
you're stone sober.
It makes no sense. What do you mean?
I'm telling you, look it up. It's the truth. Listen, I'm
But
telling
it's a
you,
really physiological thing?
I'm not joking. I'm telling you firsthand. You drank so much during the night. I drank myself say I couldn't even drink another drink. And if I did, it wouldn't do anything for me. That's it. It's enough. Your body said that's it.
So
You're
all that
sober.
money for nothing?
Nothing. Really?
Yeah.
Patsy, Silvio and Tony are sitting at the table. Ralph Cifaretto's here. Rose going nuts. She knows he hangs around
scene.
this.
Him and Ralphie and Tony with Joey Pants and Jim Gandolfini. It's a little cat and mouse. Basically, Tony is going to get Ralphie to do it.
Sure.
Tony doesn't want to do it because he promised Jackie Aprile he would take care of his son. He doesn't want his hands on it.
But I don't think Ralphie really wants to do it. He says, I want to give him a pass.
Oh, no, but Tony's manipulating, basically saying, sure, you can give him a pass. Don't worry about what people are going to say behind your back. Fuck it, even because he disrespected you, and that's going to linger, the disrespect.
What Ralphie, I mean, look, Chris and Fury are already pissed,
But he's also saying you're going to have to, if you give him a pass, you're going to have to live with people knowing you got disrespected by this kid. And if you're okay with that, he's okay with it.
But I don't think Furio or Christopher would be very happy with Ralphie either, as would a lot of the other guys.
Tony's saying this to manipulate him.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely.
He's telling him he brings up the 38. He gives him the gun, knowing that he knows where that came from.
He says, "You have been schooling him, have you?" And no, he has not been. He's been teaching him bad shit
And giving him a gun.
He hasn't been schooling him. He's been grooming him.
And enabling him.
Melfi's office. Ask yourself, how do you recognize in Gloria this deeply wounded, angry being that would let you replicate once again your relationship with your mother? I don't want to fuck my mother. I don't care what you say. Not fuck, but try to please her. You're her doctor. Tell me, do I got to worry about this broad? Tony spooked. She's got Tony spooked.
Tony spooked, and Melfi, it's almost like she's going to say, I told you so. It's almost that kind of vibe. She can't predict. And she's like, why do you put your marriage in such danger? Maybe I'm looking for a way out. And she says, you're never going to leave your wife. She might leave you. You made one good decision by marrying her. And he said, no matter what you really think, at the end of the day, you're a very conventional man, she says to him.
Not a captain of industry.
No, she kind of, is this part of this tough love? Is a part of it that she's jealous and she's kind of sticking it to him a little bit?
I think all of it.
All of it. She said she wanted me to kill her. She goes, suicide by cop.
Irina, she's just like Irina with a college degree.
Right.
Gloria's the same as Livia. Why is Tony attracted to drama? Carmela's the only good woman that he's involved with.
Yeah, and she's like, you're repeating what's familiar, the drama, the incessant self-regard, that passed for love with the mother. And it's, he really fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, though, that's for sure.
Patsy test drive the car with Gloria. They park. She's all business. He's trying to be kind of friendly. He threatens her. I'm the last face you're going to see is me.
It's not going to be cinematic, he's saying. He's like, because you're not going to get some big dramatic finale that you're hoping for.
It's just going to happen.
You're going to see me, and I'm just going to fucking
If I was Tony, and obviously I'm not, I would have sent Paulie. I would have sent Christopher or Silvio to do this. I feel Patsy was a bad choice.
Yeah, I feel he's not intimidating enough.
He didn't scare me.
Yeah, I guess that's the point they're making, because then you have that scene when he's talking to his wife about the stuffed shells to make it like there's no drama. It's not the movies. It's It's just a guy with a gun who's just gonna fucking whack you. But
You know,
no,
I
see
mean,
what
I'm
you're
just saying, I'm just surprised she was shaking. I guess he got the job done, Patsy. But I just, I would have thought he would have sent one of those guys, one of those tough guys, you know.
Well, and
Patsy
here's the other
doesn't,
thing.
not that Patsy's not a killer. He just doesn't seem like that tough guy to me, you know.
No, but the other point is, you're talking about a woman who wants to die. Why is she scared? Why didn't she just say, "Go ahead, shoot me"?
Crazy. You're going to try to figure her out.
Because it's
Who
about
knows-
the drama. It's
Who
about
knows
her
what
and
medicine she's on? Who knows what she's on, man? You got Rosalie April. Sharon Angela, who plays Rosalie April, is fantastic in this scene.
Yeah, really good.
You really feel
Really
it.
good in this scene. You have Return to Me, which was playing before the Dean Martin version. Now it's Bob Dylan, who apparently recorded the song for The Sopranos
Yeah.
because he was a fan. And I don't know if it's you're making why they would. You have the old Dean Martin, which represents the old mob, and now Return to Me is more of a, with Dylan's a more a modern version, kind of saying, look at what a mess it all is now. There's no loyalty. There's no, things are just, the wheels are falling off the whole thing. I don't really know. But I think, does it seem to you that Ralph is setting it up
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
that he's going to die?
1,000%. He's setting the scenario for Rosalie. We got to get him into rehab. They made up a story that he's a serious drug user, which we know he's not, that he has a real drug problem. It probably went to Florida. Isn't that where everyone goes? Like when I was young, the guys in my neighborhood, when they got into trouble, they all go to Florida.
They go to Florida.
How hard is it to find them in Florida? Because they all congregate together down there.
The same people will be down there doing
They'll
the
be
same
down
shit.
there. They're all together. You go to Miami, go to Fort Lauderdale, you find them all. They're all in those Italian restaurants. They're all down there.
And you do the same thing.
Mob guys on the lam, the same shit. How hard is it to find them? It's not. Where are they going? Overseas?
It's not Alaska.
They're not going to New Zealand.
No.
Where the fuck are they going?
Yeah.
He's probably with the phone. So he's setting the table because he knows what's gonna come. He's got a coke problem. She's wailing, screaming. You could feel it in your soul. She does a great job, Sharon. She set him up. It's going to happen. We need to find them and send them to rehab.
Which is never going to happen. And not the problem. Right.
Soprano Kitchen.
Carmela's reading a real estate agent. She wants to maybe become a real estate agent. A lot of people, like when they're the kid empty nest and the kids are off, they become real estate agents or they make jewelry. A lot of people.
Yeah. There's a lot of real estate agents in Laguna. They get divorced, down there. You see them at happy hour. They're blondes. And they're in their 40s, 50, and they're like you say. Some are good at it. It's a tough racket selling real estate.
Very tough. Yeah.
You got to show people. I wouldn't want to do it.
You also have to know a lot about the banks, the mortgages, the city, the permits, the violations, all that stuff, and legal stuff.
A lot of work. It's hard.
Title stuff, all that shit.
It's a lot of work to test. I don't think the test is so easy. She's reading about the magazine. Tony walks in. You look good. Yeah, you don't have any of these Looney Tune moods.
He's grateful. He's looking at her with different eyes today, and grateful that he does love her, obviously, in his way. And grateful that, with all this shit, he still has, he's grateful for her stability, I think.
She's making lemon snaps. Walks into this big, beautiful house. You smell nice cookies. She's doing it for the bake sale. None of this craziness.
It makes him happy that day.
I'll tell you what, if I was Tony Soprano, I would have had her killed.
Gloria? Just to get her out of the way forever?
I would have had her killed. What do you? It doesn't bother him to kill people. It doesn't bother any of these guys. She said it too. I have no family. I have nobody who cares about me. She's got the sister, but nobody could care less about her. So, you know what I mean? Why give the chance that she may come knocking?
It's like pushing a button. You know what? It reminds me a little of The Dilemma in Crimes and Misdemeanors, which is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, my. Absolutely.
A
One of
really
my
good movie.
top 5 best movies.
When he pushes the button, you know, he gets Martin Landau plays a famous, you know, well-respected doctor who has an affair with a very unstable woman who now, you know, wants to blow up his life and have him leave his wife, and he's not going to leave his wife. So his brother's played by Jerry Orbach, who's kind of a guy who's involved in bars and restaurants, knows a lot of wise guys,
Yeah.
and says, we can, you know, you pay a price, you get it done. And he does.
And he's religious. Martin Landau's character. They have a great scene when he's questioning, Martin Landau's questioning Jerry Orbach's integrity. Just like that, you killer? And he goes, wait. You wanted it done. You got involved.
Right.
Because, you know, Martin Landau's disrespected with the family. Like you said, high society, highfalutin. Looks down on his brother. But he comes to him when he's in trouble.
For the dirty work, yeah.
And one of the best scenes you'll ever see is the Seder when he goes back to his childhood home. It's a Woody Allen movie, and there's a scene when he goes back to
the flashback. Yeah.
It's flashback when they're having this conversation. Is it a sin if you could get away with it? It is as good as you'll ever get, the dialogue.
Yeah, it's a flashback, and he's watching himself and his family from years ago, but he's there in the present and looking back, and his father saying, the eyes of God are on us all the time.
And it's just great. And he gets away with it, and it's just fantastic. And she, you know, it was a great scene. So here's the daughter. They're going to go on vacation, the honeymoon, whatever it was, the wedding. So the daughter, the new son-in-law, the wife, they're very, you know, upscale.
They're all in with the wedding and the
very
honeymoon.
snooty, and it's raining, and she's down at the gas station on the phone. I'm coming over. I'm coming over. And he tells him he's got to leave. It's great. Patsy's car. Patsy's on the phone. I'll be home in 20 minutes. Puts a bag of groceries in his car, drives away. Return to Me, Bob Dylan, a great song. And he was a huge fan of the show, or is a huge fan. So he volunteered or requested to sing this song. Maybe he's listening right now, Bob Dylan. Do you think so?
I don't know. That's a good question. If you are, Bob,
let us know.
Come on as a guest.
Give us a signal.
You're part of the show. You participated in the show. Come on and talk.
Have you ever met Bob Dylan?
I have never met Bob Dylan. I've seen him perform several times. I never met him. I saw him perform last year at the Beacon. He plays the Beacon a lot. He does like 2 weeks at the Beacon. It was a great show. Yeah,
I saw him in L.A. and in Reno. Him and Van Morrison together.
Oh, that's a good show.
Great show.
I saw him at Live Aid. He played with Ron Wood and Keith Richards. They played guitar and he sang. Yeah,
do you think Bob Dylan thinks Bill Clinton got blown by Monica Lewinsky? I would love to ask him.
We have to ask him. That's a good question.
What do you think, Bob?
That's a really good question.
All right, this was a great episode. This is a acting class given by Jim Gandolfini and Annabella Sciorra
and Edie Falco.
Just great stuff. Just great. I enjoyed. I'm enjoying these episodes so much. I can't even.
No, me too, man.
To tell you,
me too. Not seeing it and you know, growing older and looking at things a little differently at this point in our life. It really I appreciate it a lot. What they did and what we did and what everybody did.
I don't know. I forgot a lot of it. I forgot a lot of this stuff. How great stuff is. You know, just
consistently too.
Yeah.
Oh, like all the time. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like perfection. I mean, honestly, I know there's people out there that don't like The Sopranos. I can't imagine. You know, it's like, you know, I can't imagine not liking it.
I don't like those people.
Yeah, but you know, I may not like the genre. It's like music, right? There's certain kinds of music I don't like, but I appreciate it. It's fantastic. They're geniuses. They're brilliant. Not for me, but don't tell me it's not good and it's not quality. This is incredible stuff. This is incredible.
This is this raised the bar, my friend.
Yes, it did. All right, here we go.
Time for the Talking Sopranos Ask Me Anything segment. The winner of our AMA Best Question of the Week is Kelly from Melbourne, Australia, which we were visiting last year. We did a show, a conversation with the Sopranos, with Vinny Pastore and me and you, Steve. We had a great time in Melbourne. We're going to send Kelly a pair of Bose headphones.
Kelly asks, hi guys, I want to ask, while you were filming the show, did you ever become so immersed in your character or a storyline or scene that it affected your actual mood, mentality, or feelings? Or as an actor, are you able to switch it off and on after a scene or a day's work and keep the two worlds completely separate? I hope that makes sense. What about you? You did a lot of killing. Bobby only killed one person on the show. You killed a lot, and you were violent in your character. And other stuff you've done.
I would never leave the set thinking I'm Christopher. It's never that psychotic. But it does affect your mood.
Go ahead.
Like if you're yelling all day long, doing some angry scene or some emotional scene, you're going to carry that with you. I remember coming home in bad moods. That definitely happens. One of the only times I really kind of things started to blur was when we were doing High Roller, the Stu Unger story.
Oh.
As I was living, we shot some of it in Nashville, then we moved to Vegas. So I was living at the Hard Rock, playing a gambler. And, I would come home from work at like 6 a.m. and then sit down at the table and gamble for hours. And then I wasn't sleeping. I remember, and I was gambling and I was acting, playing a gambler who was crazy. And I remember at one point, I passed out in my trailer between scenes. And they had to get a doctor.
Wow.
I thought I was having a heart attack. And because when I woke up, I didn't know where I was. I totally forgot what I was doing there, why I was in the trailer, where I really had I wasn't sure where I was or even where I lived in real life. Like it
wow.
It was more exhaustion than it was being in the character. Although I was really in that
you went method.
Frame of mind.
You went method.
Well, I was living in the Horrock, which our buddy Rich Wilk, hooked up, which was fun, but it's. You're living there, it's like nonstop all the time.
I was off the movie by then. I went back.
I was at the Hard Rock. I lived at the Hard Rock for like, I don't know, a month and a half or something.
I was living in New York. I went back to New York on you. We were down in, we shot in Vegas and then Tennessee. Then I came back here. Wow. Yeah. You don't want to do that again.
No, I pushed it. And, a lot of it's not sleeping. That's a big problem. A doctor once said sleep is as important as food, for your health.
I love the Hard Rock. And now it's become the Virgin Hotel, Virgin
Back
Airlines.
then, it was really fun when Richie was there.
And it was fun, but the music constantly, 24 hours a day.
That's the problem.
I also shot the TV show with Beth Stern there for Spike. We stayed there quite a bit. I enjoy it, of course. I lived there for so long, but every moment the music doesn't fucking stop. 24 hours a day, the music is loud.
In the elevator.
There's no getting away from it, and people are crazed. And
that was it, the overload for me. Well, what about you? Do you carry this stuff with you, or what?
Well, first of all, it's very easy for me to get angry. That's my easiest emotion as an actor.
Really?
I could do that from 0 to fucking 60.
I know that. I was kind of surprised to hear it.
See, I could do it right now.
Really?
I could go shoot a scene.
Because you come across as a very mellow, calm.
I could shoot a scene right now, no preparation. I could read this thing and do it angrily. Our executive producer is Jeff fucking Sussman. Producer is Andy Verderam. You motherfucker. Now, what I did in season 4, I had some episodes where my wife dies, Karen. I had to get very emotional. And
very emotional, yeah.
It was shot back to back.
Yeah.
The two scenes were shot back to back. I don't think they aired back to back, but they were shot that way. So for a month, and I've talked about it, I was in a funk. in a real funk, and I put myself there, and I needed to go there to get the emotion that I thought, and that stayed with me. And I was without my family. I was alone. I was living in Little Italy, and I remember when it was over. It was right before Christmas, and we went out. I mean, you might have been with us. It was me, Jim, Roger Haber. We went to the ear. It was like they lifted a curtain. You know, we're done. I was done with work like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And then we went out and it was like lifted. I felt good for the first time in a month.
Wow.
We were drinking, and Roger was dancing on the bar, if you could believe that.
Which bar?
The ear.
Oh, the ear.
4 in the morning.
Roger was on the
4:30,
bar, really?
On the bar, dancing, 4:30 in the morning. I felt it there, and I questioned myself. Why am I doing this? Why did I get into this? Why did I put myself feeling this horrible? And I had the shades were drawn, and I've since had to cry after that, and I've learned different techniques, so I don't have to put.
But that was hard on you.
That was very hard that I questioned it. So I did take it home there. The angriness, nah, not at all. You know, I'm fine. I go scream my head off, shoot at somebody, I'm blue bloods, whatever I got to do. I come home, I'm fine. That's it.
The sadness and the death.
That's the one for me. That's
misery, mourning, and all that.
You know, getting happy is, and people have a hard time with that too. You got to laugh over. You know, people think it's easy. You know, try to laugh 25 times.
Actually, laughing is not easy. You really have to. You have to find something funny.
Like when I laugh at your jokes, I'm acting 95% of the time when you say something here.
Listen, I'm 100% honest all the time on this show. That's what you get from me. You get the truth. You don't get rose-colored glasses. You don't get it diluted, you know, how you want it. You get the truth from me. I'm not going to mince. I'm not going to pretend.
See, I was acting again just then. All right, man. Kelly.
From Melbourne, you got.
We love Melbourne. We love it. We had a good time. What do they call it? Melbourne. We were calling it Melbourne. But we love it there. We did a show and we had a great Italian meal and we had a good time. Thanks for listening. And remember, new episodes are released every Monday. Please subscribe to the Talking Sopranos podcast on YouTube. Please subscribe to that. We've got like 84,000 subscribers. We have so many more listeners. If you don't mind, subscribe. That'll help us. Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram and like us on Facebook. And right now, you can get official Talking Sopranos merchandise on TalkingSopranos.com or through our YouTube channel.
Our executive producer is Jeff Sussman, producers Andy Verderam. Our music was composed and performed by Elijah Amerton. You can hear more of Elijah's music and the band Zopa, which Elijah and I play in together, by clicking the links at TalkingSopranos.com. Our production crew includes Ty Verderam, Sierra Schirripa, and NYC Podcasting. Talking Sopranos is a Pod Jams production.
All right, pal.
Good job. Now I don't believe I say that. I would know that's fake.
That was a fake one. All right.
You're pushing it.
Hey, listen, they can't all be fucking gems, my friend.
What, the laughs?
I'll see you next week.
That show was a gem. The show was a gem. That last laugh. You got to have something specific.